Hello, happy Saturday to you all. It's a lovely day, about to be ruined by Tottenham Hotspur. Kuva, how are you? Sexy Kuva, apparently, according to your name. How are
sexy, obviously.
you? Sexy.
Yeah, it started from the Kulusevski bit, didn't it?
I hear you.
I'm really enjoying today so far. Really looking forward to a good bit of football and ours.
Yeah, I was going to say, which game are you planning on watching then at 3:00? Who are you watching?
Pick any of the others, mate.
Mate. So this title challenge we're in, we're 6 points behind the leaders, Man City now. So we've got to win today. Kuva, the team has been announced. I have just done a rant about it, believe it or not, on YouTube. Mate, talk to me about the 11. And for those of you that haven't seen it, I'm sure you all have, and welcome to everybody. It's Lloris in goal, a solid back three of Davis, Sanchez and Longley. The no-look pass master, Royal, is at right wing back. Mr. I can't take a player on, Sessegnon is at left wing back. We've gone for a very creative midfield three of Højbjerg, Basuma and Skip. And Kane and Son go up top.
Oh, we do have some attacking players then.
Yeah, there's two in there.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the 11, Kuga, because otherwise, if I go first, I will go on a massive rant. Talk to me about the 11.
You want me to talk about that without ranting?
No, you can rant. If I start, it just looks a bit kind of narcissistic being my channel.
Savva,
right?
yeah. Negative Savva, forest fire.
Yeah. I haven't been called a forest fire for about a week.
Jesus, with all due respect, this is Bournemouth, for God's sake. Why aren't we taking the game to them? If we're not looking to smack a few games past the relegation fodder, which they are, they've had a little new manager bounce. That seems to be over now. Even West Ham beat them. They've got some great goalkeepers at Bournemouth, but the rest of the team, you look at, there's virtually nobody. Lerma's all right. I think Billing's quite an underrated player. Solanke, is he really all that? No. We should be smashing them, and yet we've picked basically 8 defensive outfield players and Sonny and Kane. Why you can't give a go to the likes of Hill after his last few performances, I don't know. Conte still doesn't trust him, obviously. I think this could shape up to be another absolute flop today.
I mean, to put it in perspective, Kuva, if we look at their last 5 games, no, I'll tell you what, I'll go back further than that. If I look at Bournemouth's last 6 games, all right, in order. So they lost 2-0 last week to West Ham. They lost 1-0 the week before at home to Southampton.
Bit unlucky with the Southampton one, I saw that.
Drew 2-2 to Fulham. Beat Leicester at home 2-1. Drew 0-0 with Brentford and drew 1-1 with Newcastle. Right? Now, as much as, listen, I'm not here to belittle any team. You know, any team that's in the Premier League, you say, well done, you deserve to be there on merit. But I can't hear today, Kuva, is anyone. I'll call out any channel, anyone saying this is not on Conte, this is on the board. I hate the board. I want the board gone. We will never forget that as our primary objective, Kuva. But Bournemouth away, you're telling me Perisic, who's an attacking-minded player, Hill, Mora, they may not be good, they may not be great players, but come on, how are we going into this with 3 defensive midfielders? I just don't get it, mate. I don't understand Conte. I don't understand how he's so adored with this crap football. I'm so sorry. Happy Saturday, by the way.
I think I'll get the backing Conte idea. It's what we like to call it's old school desperation. Just because what happens when he goes? Where are we going from there?
No, of course, yeah.
Either him and Paratici managed to pull this around for us, and create the miracle. Forget Amsterdam. The Spurs miracle will be Levy actually acting like an ambitious chairman. If we manage to get that, we're onto something. But I don't see it happening. Do you? The summer transfer window, This amazing summer transfer window. Ali Gold saying how that was going to be truly massive window to look forward to. Big things expected. What happened? How much have we improved this first team?
No, we haven't. The thing is, the thing with this is, I just wonder, are the fans in the summer who kept saying it was a good window, who kept saying we've added depth, are they still out there? Because I can't see any of them at the moment. I can't see.
Yeah, there's some that stick to it. Yeah, unbelievably, I don't know what they're looking at. It's you look at what the bloody Gooners did. 3 players in. Jesus straight into the team. Zinchenko straight into the team. Brought back Saliba straight into the team. Improved their first 11 in every single one of those positions. Then they got a few promising youngsters come in who, on the odd occasion they have played, looked all right to me. What have we done? We've got backup players in certain positions, ones that can rotate. Nobody that really pushes us forward, is it? Even Perisic, let's face it, I was expecting more from him. I think most people were. He is that world-class kind of name you associate with great football. He's really going to improve the team. He's not really been on it, has he? He's got quality crosses in him, without doubt, but he has bad games too. And his all-round game's gone to pot. He is getting on a bit. That's the sad truth of it. Conte himself said, "This is not the same player I remember." Says it all. So we're in the situation. Yeah, it's a situation where we've now got a manager that doesn't believe in his squad. The squad don't seem to believe in themselves. Chairman that isn't going to do anything to back that change anything around, and a director of football who's so far the signings have been mixed bag at best, isn't it?
Yeah, agreed.
And any talent we do seem to have that can change it up, Conte doesn't trust them to do it. Not only Hill in today, I'd like to see Jed Spence as well. Really refresh that right flank.
Hold that thought for a second. We're going to come back to that with Hill and Spence in just a second. Let's just see who we've got in the chat. There's 65 of you at the moment. Captain Cockerell's in the chat. Big up to you. Same to Daryl Denton. As always, there's some absolute loser called Savva. He's in the chat. Luan is in the chat. Big up to yourself. Champions of Italy. Mark Cousins. Big up to yourself as well. 164 Spurs. There's Wayne Holland. Yeah, I mean, I thought Leicester, you dug in there, Wayne, but they did have it must have been about 99% possession. But Leo Loves Lego is in there. I mean, great name, love that. Amir, Tom Young, thank you very much. Mr. Pads is in the chat. George is saying 3 points dropped if we fail. Here's Greg Spur. Here we go. This is just, again, it's constant excuses for Conte picking these defensive players. Moore is washed out. Perisic is resting for the Champions League. Hill is better from the bench, and we didn't buy an attacking midfielder. I'm sorry, but there seems to be an excuse every game when we don't play certain players. Why couldn't you have played Spence? When we're saying Moore is washed out, are you telling me that we needed 3 defensive midfielders at Bournemouth? I'm sorry. We've got...
Well, that's the trouble. We were talking about it before the stream, weren't we? As far as I'm concerned, it's all of it. It's from Levy, Paratici, Conte, the players. All of it has been put in together in this horrible mixture we've got at the moment.
Sure. Mate, listen, when I say I hate the style of football from Conte, Kuva, of all the people in the world, you understand, right, that's my frustration with the on-the-pitch style. Right? I did a whole show yesterday, as you know, with Brian Daigle talking about how much I hate the owners and want them out. But again, what I can't do is I can't turn around and look at that 11 today, look at the defensive nature of it and say, that's on ENIC. Because they'll turn around and go, okay, then why can't you play Perisic today? Why couldn't Jed Spence get 20, start the game? Why couldn't Brian Hill, listen, I'm not saying Brian Hill, let's talk about Hill and Spence. I'm not saying they're the be-all and end-all, but I think Brian Hill, whenever he's come on, he's looked good. He's looked positive. I keep hearing that he's lightweight and he, gets knocked off the ball, but he's also doing some really good things where he drives the team forward. Do you think he just doesn't fancy him, Kuva? And that's why we're not getting to see him from the start of any game against anyone?
Well, you'd have to just look at that recent comment he made about him, don't you? And he's comparing him to Bernardo Silva. Fans are over hyping that up and overreacting to that. If you really look at what it says, pay attention. He's saying that kind of player, not up there with Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
Much the same way as Pochettino said with Marcus Edwards. He reminds me of Messi. And it's not because he's saying he's the same player as Messi, because low center of gravity, changes direction quickly, can weave in and out, very quick on his feet, great acceleration. It's the same with Hill. There are similarities to be drawn there in the style of what he does, not how well he does it. Now, despite that, I agree. You look at Hill's first season with us, he made 9 appearances, 85 minutes spread over 9 appearances and not wanted. This summer, we were trying to sell him, weren't we? Oh, that's not a secret, is it? So it's obvious that Conte does not believe in this player, but perhaps he's just at the point now where he's going to use him as a super sub and see if he can have some sort of impact like he has done.
Do you know what, Kuva? I get all that. And for me, what would hold more water to that viewpoint, not saying it's yours, Conte's viewpoint, would be if we had other attacking players playing in front of him, right? But when I look at games like today and you think, well, there's no Perisic, there's no Mora, there's no Kulusevski, and there's no Richarlison, and the guy still can't get on against Bournemouth, you've really got to ask yourself, what's the point here? And things like this, when I see, I think it's because of the physicality of the Prem. First of all, I don't buy this. I'll tell you why. Because if you ever watch the Spanish league, the defenders there clatter the shit out of players, right? So it won't be anything that Bryan Hill is not used to in his career, being a small player. His physicality didn't look a problem when he came on against Frankfurt and did well. It didn't look a problem when he did it the other night against Sporting Lisbon. I just feel at some point we've got to stop these excuses and you've got to give a player a chance. Jed Spence, you mentioned him earlier. What's the difference between him starting today against Bournemouth and Emerson Royal playing? What's the worst that could happen, Kuva, with Spence in the team?
Well, at least Spence looks like he can offer something going forward. He can take on his man, beat him. The intent is there. He's exciting at least. Emerson Royal was a joke. That no look passing, that is the pinnacle of everything Emerson is.
Superb.
Pretending to be a footballer. Absolute wage thief. I think Spence, we've barely seen him. Give him a chance. Same with Hill. We've seen little flashes of something very promising. See, I didn't think. Back to Hill, but it could apply to Spence as well. The thing is, when he first arrived, I thought he's never going to make it with us. I thought he was just too fragile. And when he does run about doing things, it's energetic, but there's no end product. These last 2 games where he's come on as sub, he's changed my mind. There is product at the end there. We are getting chances created out of what he does. He's even starting to get some shots in now. It's like the confidence is building with him being on the pitch. I'm with you, mate. Why can't we just give him a go? It's Bournemouth. It's bloody Bournemouth.
But the thing is, Kuva, there's loads of excuses from fans, again, sticking up for this decision to not play him because of all the negatives. And I get that if the players playing in front of him were playing well. But for everything we say, like, his ball retention, he's not strong enough. All right. But then what does Mora do? What's Richarlison done in a Spurs shirt? What's Basuma done? What does Skip... Right, do you know what I mean? Like, at least let the guy have 90 minutes and then you can say at the end of the game, well, he was completely ineffective for the whole game. Or, actually, he came in and he actually played a nice through ball and we scored from it. But
you know what? I could actually see Hill and Richarlison playing as a kind of a a double act. They're so good at handing players down that could actually work quite well for an aggressive forward press. But not going to happen, is it? I don't know why we're not doing it. I know you're a lot stronger with it than me on the subject, but you've got to question some of the things Conte's been doing, haven't you?
No, you're not allowed. You're not allowed.
No, I'm gonna.
You're
End
not
of the
allowed
day,
at all.
for me, football is said it be ages back. It's a spectacle. Give me something to watch. It's a spectator sport. Especially if I was going to games, I'm glad as hell I've been for a few years now. Not well enough getting back and forth, but people going to these games deserve better. You've got to have something in the game that at least gets you out of your seat. It's got to be something worth cheering. And I keep hearing more and more, oh, the results are all that matters. No, it isn't.
No.
I don't look at Paul Gascoigne and Glenn Huddle and look at their statistics. I remember what I've seen. It's all up here.
Yeah.
Magical moments. That's what it's all about for me.
Football's the football fan has changed over the time. Listen, if results are all that matters, right? Then why do Man City play such good football? If the result is all that matters, why do you think that Pep drills it into them about winning the ball back, pressing,
pass? If it's so much more effective and easier to play defensive football, why aren't Man City doing that as well? Right. They'll be even more dominant.
Right. Yeah. It's
just bullshit.
I think it's all well and good. Listen, me as a football fan, can I appreciate a team that can stick 10 behind the ball and see out a game? I can when it's needed. Yeah, I can. I get it. I.e., when Man City come to town, I get it. You get organised, like what like Leicester just did today. Organised. Everyone back. Everyone knows their job. Clear your lines. Don't let them get in behind. When the 10 men behind the ball is your every game tactic, that's where, as a fan, I go, yeah, I can't pay to watch this, because that's just, look, I've stopped going in the last month or so, because it's not just about the money. I can afford it, but it's more than anything, it's my time. I'm not going to go all the way over to North London, right? And it takes me a good while, especially on match day. Buy a programme, buy a few pints, buy a sausage roll for 94 quid, whatever it is. Then have to take 2.5 hours to get back, just so that I can say, oh, Conte parked the bus. Nah, sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah. So fair play to these fans that go away. Fair play to them. I can only imagine that the alcohol, right?
There is a different mindset on away games. I used to do away games a lot. And I'll tell you, the likes of going up to Anfield or Old Trafford, getting pasted and coming back again, we were actually okay with, because you're going up with good company, you're having a few beers, you're enjoying yourself, and even when we lose, we're singing along. It's a rare breed, is that the away fan. They're even better. They're more vociferous at it than when back in my day when we were doing it. I've got full respect for them. It's that tribal togetherness and sticking together as fans no matter what. Cheer and sing right the way through. Put the team to shame by doing it at times if need be. But one thing we always see that from the team is they know those fans are there in away games. Yeah, a lot of teams don't get that kind of following.
No, I agree, and that's why hats off to the away fans. Just quickly want to address this point, Tyrese. I hear this a lot, right? I always hear about, well, Man City have world-class players all over the pitch. My first question to you would be, when Pep bought every single one of those Man City players, how many of them were world-class at the time of him buying them? Right? There's my first question. So yes, he buys good players, but no one's going to tell me that Rodri was considered world-class, right? Grealish was considered world-class, right? Bernardo Silva, good. These were all good players. But the thing is as well, when you've got world-class players, lots of managers, Kuva, throughout history have had world-class players, but can't get them playing, right?
Look no further than the Real Madrid, the Galactico era.
Right. So now look at Pep gets these players in that not only are beautiful to watch, but their work rate is incredible, and he gets them running through brick walls for him. Other managers can spend hundreds and hundreds of millions, can't get it done. So yes, they've got
prime Barcelona with Messi. Messi and Iniesta would run their socks off the moment the ball was lost.
Yep. The 3-second rule.
Yeah.
Lose the ball, get it back in 3 seconds. And look, we're going to kick off in a minute. Just quickly, Mahfouz has said, we lack creators, Savva. How many creative midfielders do we have? How many good wing backs? So Mahfouz, my problem with this is, yes, we know this. But my issue comes back to this. Antonio Conte's been here a year. He's had 2 windows. If he wanted top quality wing backs and creative midfielders, why in his 10 signings did we not sign those players? And if it's not on him, and if we're saying that's Paratici and Levy buying players that he doesn't want, why does the man not just go, I can't work with this, and walk? So for me, I've got a question. Does he want those creative players? Yeah, right. Exactly, Kuva, right? Exactly. I think we'll find out a lot when he finally leaves. Yeah. But what Conte can't have for me, Kuva, he can't have it both ways. It can't be, these are the players he wanted, but then, he's not been backed at the same time. It can't be both.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm not walking away from a job if I'm getting paid 20 million a year.
For sure. I get it.
And we know all of our previous managers, or every single one of them, without doubt, has signed an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, when they leave the club. Otherwise, we would have heard about exactly what goes on behind the scenes.
Of course.
We hear little snippets of it every now and then. See, 20 years on from the day when Huddle left, we're starting to hear little bits about what went on in his reign, aren't we? A lot of things swept under the carpet. I'd love to know what the truth was behind that Jose period.
Yeah,
because that was the big fix. That was bringing the most successful manager in the game. Everything's going to be rosy, and it certainly wasn't. Is all that all down on Jose? Is this all down on Conte? Is it all Nuno's fault? Is it all Posh's fault? We must be on an incredible bad run of luck if it's all down to them.
No, it's the whole thing. Look, as I said before, is Conte a top manager that's won things elsewhere? Yes. Does that mean I have to like his style of football? No. But I just don't place the blame all at one person's feet. For me, I can blame ENIC and Levy for 22 years and for 90% of what happens at this club. But the moment they step over that line, when I see us defend, playing with like 10 men behind the ball and the handbrake on, that's the manager, because the manager can say to them, go and play, go and express yourself. All right, if we concede, we concede, but go. I'll tell you what, we'd score a lot more goals than we would concede if we actually went and attacked teams with Kane, Son, Kulusevski, Perisic.
It's there, isn't it?
Right, exactly. A super chat. Thank you very much to Gogomar. Hope you are well. Haven't seen you for a week or so, so I hope everything is good your end. If anyone did want to put in a super chat, as always, the money does go to the British Heart Foundation. So thank you very much for that. And please, there are 75 of you in here. Smash that like button. It's free and it does help. Kuva, just quickly, let's look at just quickly with a minute until kickoff. The other 3 o'clocks, we've got Brentford versus Wolves. What do you reckon?
I think the way Wolves are playing, Brentford's surely going to win that.
Yep.
You never know with Wolves, though, do you?
They play some lovely stuff. They don't have a goal scorer.
Yeah. No cutting edge at all. Mind you, they're taking some sound beatings as well recently.
And then probably the biggest game of the 3 o'clock kickoffs is Brighton to Chelsea, at home to Chelsea. Obviously, the Potter derby. Big game that, right? Because if Chelsea win that, they're right up there. They're right up there, even after the difficult start they had.
Certainly not a game I'd like to bet on, that one.
No.
Because you might have the Brighton players up in their game to prove a point of like, you should have stayed with us, Potter.
Yeah.
You've also got the fact that Chelsea, that a lot of new players in, don't all gel instantly. They're struggling through a few games, but they are getting the results.
Yeah.
It's that amount of quality that you bring into the team going to be enough to get them over the line? I don't know. I really can't call that game.
And then a team that could overtake us today, Newcastle, home to Aston Villa. So Aston Villa obviously had the bounce at the weekend of the 4-0 win.
Forget that. They're going down at Newcastle.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, if Newcastle win and we don't, I believe they'll go. I mean, what's their goal? Their goal difference is +10. Our goal difference is +9.
Yeah.
So if they win and we draw, they go above us. And what a sensational job he's done there.
Yeah. He wasn't getting enough credit earlier in the season. Actually, I've got to call out Shawnee a little bit on that one. But I remember a few weeks back we were talking about Newcastle, and I said I think they're going to get into the top 4 this season. They'll do it earlier than said. Sean pointed out they've only won 2 games all season, but at that point they'd only lost 1 all season, and now they've few runs in a row. Look where they are. It's that's how quickly it can change. But if you've got that consistent bit where you are not losing games, you're going to be up there. The points will come. And I think Newcastle are in a really good situation now. The only thing that's going to stop them is if they get a few injuries. But look at the new owners. They get a few injuries, they will be investing in January. If they got a sniff of top 4, they are going to be investing in January. If everything's going well and they're cruising it, might be mild investment. They might wait for the summer for the better deals. But they're going to be right up there. Arsenal are going to be in the mix. Man City are going to win it anyway. Chelsea, United, Liverpool, all these teams are in the mix. Let's say people saying, "Oh, we're in 3rd, so all's good." That isn't going to last long. Keep playing like this. It's not long before we're in 7th or 8th.
But mate, this is the problem. This is what I said to everyone before. We can talk all day long about great start to the season, best start ever. It doesn't really mean anything if you're tumbling down the table immediately after. And
Jose top of the league in December, wasn't he, at Christmas?
Yeah, of course. And the thing for me is this: as I've said all the time, you can only beat who's in front of you. But it was a false economy because we were beating the Wolves, the Southamptons, the Fulhams, right? There was no beating anybody that made me think, oh, yeah, we've kicked on. I'm sure we weren't playing this negative and badly at the end of last season, were we?
No, it seemed better last season, didn't there? There was a better connection between some of the players, notably Sonny and Kane. I mean, that was sensational last season. Even with Kane off form for half the season, still came back. We looked so dangerous. Everything's changed now. Although we've still got a reasonable amount of goals scored and everything. That's the bit I can't understand. How are we doing this? It's just we're making more use of our set pieces and corners and free kicks, aren't we? It seems to be a big source of our goals. Yeah, and we haven't got our lucky 3rd place goal scorer own goals working so well this season.
Yeah, it for me it's a real worry. And what I'm seeing a lot of the excuses. Oh well, Kulu's not playing, and it's like, okay, but surely we can't be a team where one winger goes out and the whole thing collapses.
That's it. You can't play 3-4-3 because Kulusevski's out. Yeah, and we've had a great window and we got squad depth.
Yeah, right.
Pull the other one.
Let's have a look. So yes, the game has kicked off, by the way, everyone. I'm desperately trying to find a good feed to watch it on. I'm not really getting anything, if I'm honest. I found one stream which the game hasn't kicked off yet, and yet we're 5 minutes into the game, so I don't really think it's worth watching it. Hang on, EPL Optus Sports 7. There you go, EPL Optus Sports 7.
Finding the dodgy live streams while on air, that's always a good one.
Me, I'm on IPTV Smarters.
No, but I'm on the dodgy live stream.
Oh. Brighton have taken the lead against Chelsea. I can tell you that much. Tim Sherwood's losing his mind over here. Somebody has said here. I mean,
like I said, you couldn't really predict that game very easily, could you? Could still go either way.
Yeah. What have we got here? We've got Savva. What do you think of Gallagher? I like Conor Gallagher. I think Conor Gallagher's one of those that He's an all-action type player. Gets forward, scores goals, got a good engine on him, good tackle, good pass. I like him. I think he's the next notch up from Skippy. If I'm honest, I think he is what a lot of Spurs fans think Skip is. That might get me in trouble, but it is what it is.
Skip could end up there. Skip's missed almost the whole season injured, really, hasn't he? It's really set him back. I think. With both players, they just need regular first team football. It's the only way they're going to get better.
I just don't know if he's going to get it.
Who gets most football, Gallagher or Skip?
Yeah. Gallagher's getting more game time at Chelsea, isn't he?
At the moment, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, I just don't know where I am as a Spurs fan right now. As we said before, Kuva, I don't even, I keep hearing there's a project, but if the summer transfer window told us anything, it was that if there is a project, it's not clear what the project is.
Never is.
No, and it's a shame. Yeah, have you got a feed?
I have. You want me to?
I want you to tell me what it. Have you got a link? Can you send me?
Yeah, I'll just. I'll put. Oh no, hang on. I'll send it on WhatsApp, mate.
Yeah. Hang on, no, I've got one. I mean, and my stream Spurs are in the
anyway.
3 minutes 31, so I'm only 2.5 minutes behind. I mean, when you look at that midfield free, Kuva, whose job is it to go and join in with Son and Kane? Is it going to be Højbjerg or is it going to be Basuma?
You've got to say it's Højbjerg. He's been doing quite well at it this season, to be fair. I think if he's given more license to get forward again, those three central midfielders, it looks instantly like it's very defensive, doesn't it? But
yeah,
you can tweak it to get them forward a little bit more. Perhaps we might see Skip and Højbjerg both pushing forward to join Harry and Sonny up front. Have to wait and see. It's certainly on playing on the stream at the moment. Not seeing a lot of it. We are getting players forward, certainly. Trouble is, it's the likes of Sessegnon.
Yeah, I'm watching it at the moment, and every time Royal gets the ball, I just look away and just think, it's kind of.
So does he.
Yeah, the no-look king. Is anyone watching? Has anyone got a stream? What do you think? I get the feeling we'll probably have a lot of the ball, but it will all be in our own half. Elsewhere, there's been a Trossard again. Another goal for Trossard. Again, lovely footballer, Trossard.
Yeah. That's a proper goal threat from midfield, isn't it?
Oh, of course. Well, this is the thing. I'm looking at all the money that's been spent and the 10 players that have come in, and I'm thinking, at what point does Conte not turn around? I'm not blaming him and turn around and go, I don't want that. I need some creativity. Do you know what I mean? At some point, surely that's got to happen. And if a creative player doesn't come in, Kuva, that goes straight into our 11 in January, again, I'll say, right, well, that's now been 3 windows where that's not been a priority. So is that what he actually wants?
Yeah, of course he wants it. There's never been one of his teams in the past that hasn't had it.
I know.
So for me, it just reeks of Conte has to sit down with Paratici to go through the sort of players he wants and a few ideas that he wants. Paratici goes to Levy. Then the breakdown happens. Can't get this, can't get that. Nope, not spending that on this. And then we end up with going back to Conte with, well, I can get these other players. And Conte goes, well, all right then, because you'd rather have some players in than nothing at all. Otherwise, you end up with what happened with Pochettino and completely barren windows. I think it's just going to all blow up at some point. Conte will just say, enough's enough. I'm not getting players in I need. Squad is not improving. And you're expecting me to work with players I don't rate. Even Basuma, you look at this slow start to the season, seems pretty obvious to me that is not a Conte-inspired player, is it? He might be, think he was great at Brighton and everything. He looked like a good player. But at the end of the day, if Conte thought that's exactly what I want for my midfield, and then doesn't play him for the first 7 or 8 games, is it?
Yeah.
Is it really what he wanted? I don't think so. With Jed Spence, we've got clear evidence that it wasn't the player he wanted. And yet fans say Conte's being backed still. What evidence is to say that he's being backed? Nothing.
Yeah, I tell you, the thing is as well, we talk a lot about Jed Spence being the player that he didn't want. I don't think he wanted many of the others, Kuva, because not from what I've seen. Like, because if this was exactly what you wanted, then I'm pretty sure from day one, Basuma goes in. From day 2, from day 1, Richarlison goes in, Longley goes in. It's just kind of felt like, especially in the big Champions League games, I'm thinking, where's all our new signings? And he's not playing them. I don't know. It all feels a bit, I don't know. It just feels a bit weird. It must suck being a Sutton United fan. They've had a bloke sent off after 3 minutes in their game. I mean, when you have a man sent off after 3 minutes, hang on, corner comes in. That went to no one.
Well, let's face it, Sutton are still riding the wave of knocking Coventry City out of the FA Cup as when they were holders. That's only about, 35 years ago.
Good memory. Good memory. Good memory. Not many goals flying around at the moment. So we could do with Newcastle losing. We could do with Chelsea losing, and they are. But whenever I look, we've got the ball, but it all seems to be on the halfway line. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like there's any real inventive structure there. It doesn't feel like anyone can pick a pass.
There's been numbers up there at times. It's just the pass isn't coming. There's I think the word's guile. There's no guile in the team. There's no invention or creativity, flair, doing something unexpected or taking a player on. They're not don't seem to be doing that either.
See, that's why today I would have gone with a 3-4-1-2, stuck Brian Hill in the hole. And I would just say, just keep feeding in the ball and just keep trying to slip it into Kane and Son. That's what I would have done. We're having a lot of the ball, but I don't know. I just
like I said, even he could play Hill out on the right wing, put Jed Spence in behind him, have 2 really lively, flying sort of wing types on there. Just see what they can get out of it. It's got to be better than watching this sort of performance. This is already turning into another bore fest.
It's going to be, isn't it? I mean, when I look at the 2 wing backs, we've got to have 2 of the worst wing backs in the country in Royal and Sessegnon. But the thing is, Kuva, there were people in the summer that were saying they truly believe we're in a title race. That's the scary thing for me, that as fans, we have fans within our fan base that truly believe we're in a title race.
Yeah, mate, the quad's on.
The quad is technically it's still on.
There you go. So I wasn't wrong.
But it might not be on if Marseille knock us out on.
Yeah, I know, mate. You still think with this team, FA Cup, League Cup, we're still not beyond the days of getting knocked out by lower division teams, are we?
No, absolutely not. What does everyone make of it in the chat? Are you all seeing it? Kuva sent me a link which really is working very well, and I'm 13 minutes in, so I'm guessing I must be there or thereabouts. We've had a lot of the ball. We've had 65% of the ball. They haven't really got going, but the worry is that at some point there will be some pressure from them, and it's how does that back 3, which Brighton are 2-0 up at home to Chelsea.
Oh wow!
Brighton are 2-0 up at home to Chelsea. Isn't this one of these stories, right, Kuva? If they do lose that, you think Potter's not lost in 7 games as Chelsea boss? Goes to his old club.
Yeah, Brighton haven't suddenly become a bad side overnight, have they?
No.
They've still got that organisation. They've still got an understanding of how they play. Potter is still feeling his way at Chelsea. He's got an awful lot of new players to deal with, and he's got a new club. So it's going to take time. You could say Potter's actually been overperforming so far, because some of their performances don't match the positive results they've had, in my opinion. But he will get that.
Absolutely. I think he'll need time to get them playing Potter style. You know what I mean? I hate the words Potter ball and Conte ball and all that, but I mean, just look at the job he did at Brighton and what he'll do with the better players he's got at Chelsea. But let's have a look. Let's see what they're made of, Chelsea. Can they come back from that? I mean, it's a good result for us. What I think we are going to start to see in the next 4, 5, 6 games is Man City pull clear. That's what I think we're going to see. And everyone else is just going to be in that little pack behind.
Oh, here we go. We're way behind what will be the actual action. But you got it so Sonny's just about to take a corner on yours.
Yeah.
First chance of anything we can do, isn't it? A set piece.
Come on.
Nothing.
No, straight out.
Yeah, just well defended, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is the thing. It's can we break these teams down? And, bearing in mind, let's be honest, this is a Bournemouth team that have just come up and haven't really brought anybody of Premier League quality to play in their team. So, effectively, I'd be interested to see how many of this 11, thank you, Coach TPM. Yeah, sorry, that sneeze came out of left field. I'd be interested to see how many of that 11 played for Bournemouth last season. Because then effectively you're playing a championship.
There's a few in there with previous Premiership experience, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure, mate, absolutely for sure. But this is my point. It's it's tough, isn't it? It's a tough even when we have the ball, it's like, where's your Mickey Hazards?
Does this sound about right? Savva? Tottenham, 66% of the possession, 1 shot off target. Bournemouth, 34% of the possession, 4 shots, 1 on target. Sorry, 3 shots, 1 on target. That sums us up, really, doesn't it? Do nothing with the ball.
And do you know the funny thing is? Well, not funny. My missus always tells me off for using the word funny because I use it in all the wrong ways. Is just how ordinary Kane and Son look as footballers at the moment.
Sorry, I'm miles away there just thinking your honeymoon. Well, this is funny.
Yeah. I got undressed and she went, "Oh, that is funny." Yeah, that is funny. But you know what I mean? Kane and Son, again, if you had never watched football before and we said that's 2 of the most deadly forwards in the country, you'd go, yeah, right.
There's nothing, is there? They can't do it by themselves all the time.
No,
teams have wised up to the ball into Kane's feet and the flick over the top for Sonny. We don't even play that style anymore. So you'd have to say.
I sent you a thing on WhatsApp earlier. Did you see it? It was a couple of guys from The Athletic picking apart the Spurs tactics.
Didn't get a chance to look at it, mate.
And it was basically them saying, have Spurs been found out? And they go into details with the formation Conte plays, how we try to exploit the space, but how it leaves us vulnerable because it means we don't have a lot of the ball. And it was a good watch. And I get the tactic. I completely get it. But as you always say, Kuva, from a spectacle point of view, it's not me. Sorry, it's not me.
I'll go further than just saying it's not me. I'd say it's absolutely shit. It's an insult to supporting this club for me. I'm just utterly intolerant of this kind of brand of football. Always will be. I was brought up in the era of Glenn Huddle, Paul Gascoigne. You can't play this way and expect me to be entertained by it in any way. Absolute bullshit. Closest we got to it, Harry Redknapp, Pochettino, a little bit under Martin Jol. At least we're playing some football under all 3 of them. Coincide with probably our best periods under Enoch, doesn't it?
Big up to Ian Barron. Mafuza said sideways and backwards every game possession. This is what happens when you lack creative players, of course. But
and confidence.
This is the thing, Mafuz. It's not like we've not had windows to address this situation. The Who has said, "Oh my God, both teams equally boring, need a goal." Yep. I think you've just summed up every Spurs game this season. Ian, big up to yourself, mate. To dare is to do is to do. I said Royal actually played a nice pass. Mate, did you not see his no-look pass midweek? That was the quality we crave. Wayne Holland, spot on. So that's a fancy way of saying he ignored me. Yeah, Kuva always ignores me. He's like that. He uses me. This is a team. This is the team, right? This is what you can do with great recruitment. Napoli are on fire, and not just in the Italian league, in Europe as well. They're playing some beautiful football. Why can't we have scouts that can go out and find like Krafshili or whatever his name is, the Georgian winger? Where's our scouts finding Lobotka, finding Kim Min-jae? Where, Di Lorenzo, where are our scouts finding those top players at cheap prices? Wouldn't be surprised if it ends new.
Hopefully, Udogie is going to break the mold in that respect. He does look exciting.
Yeah, I like that. I like that as one.
And he's not even at the club. So
here's one for you, Kuva. Luan has said, "Are you guys even sure that you are going to beat Forest in the Cup, especially if you're rotating?" And just so have you seen it? It's come up on Sky Sports News that we are 1-0 down. My app isn't showing that yet, but Clinton Morrison is doing all of this, and it says he's doing this and this and this, and it's 1-0 to Bournemouth. The problem is with the sound off, you never know whether VAR are going to get involved. So at the moment, we are 1-0 down to Bournemouth. On my app, we're in their half. Yeah,
Moore has scored it.
But in my app, we're on the attack.
Yeah, that's the only trouble with this stream. It streams quite well, but
oh wow, hang on. Yeah, he's running down the line. Goal. Oh God, we're so bad.
Our defense wasn't there, but they took the goal well.
Great finish. I mean, I'm not even upset anymore, Kuva.
They look like a confident team there. The way that ball was stroked into the net, side-footed finish, just placed it easy as you like.
Look, this comment here. We've got a back nine.
Yeah.
I just don't know where we listen.
They literally did a Kane on Sonny there.
Yeah.
The ball was into Solanke. I think he held it. I think it was where's that Solanke on the wing? Anyway, they held the ball up in the middle, flicked it out to the winger to run past the last man.
I think was that Tavernier? I think it looks like Tavernier went down the wing. Yeah. Lovely finish by Kiefer Moore. Fair play to him. Good finish, but
was it Solanke doing the Harry Kane bit, holding the ball up, flicking it over the last defender for the winger to run onto?
Listen, but I can't blame that on Enoch. I can't. I want to. I can't. This style of football...
You can ultimately.
Ultimately, but Kuva, the problem is, no offence, we're playing Bournemouth.
Yeah, this is bullshit, mate.
Right, it's Bournemouth.
Bullshit. Yeah.
I get it when people are going, oh, well, we can't go toe-to-toe with Arsenal. We can't go toe-to-toe with Man City.
No, I don't agree with all that bullshit as well. We're in a position where we're in this position at the club where we're having to justify playing shit.
Hang on, they're on their counter-attack again. The thing is, it's really weird because I'm watching the game knowing that something would have already happened. Hang on, look, Jesus, they're getting through. I mean, hang on, he's got it on the edge of the box.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Even when we do get the ball, it's just a long punt down the middle, isn't it?
Honestly, it's anti-football. I don't want to hear anymore. The excuse I keep hearing, Kuva, is this. Oh, well, we played lovely football with Poch and didn't win anything, right?
Did you see that?
Oh, my God.
That could have been 2-0.
I mean,
should we watch something else?
I've just put Babe Station on. It doesn't
it's
start
always
for 9 hours, Kuva. I'm just watching the advert.
Someone looking to get shafted, isn't it?
It's like my missus always says to me, "Why do you watch Spurs? You always complain about it."
She's got a point, you know.
Mate, but you have to. I'm at the stage where you have to laugh because I just can't understand how so many people didn't see this coming. And this isn't I told you so moment, but it's the people. It's like Faz. You know, Faz always in the chat, always coming into my comments saying, "You're too harsh on Spurs. We're going to win 4-1." And I'm like, dude, what are you watching that my brain's not going to the same thing? You know, what are you? Oh,
there were people positive after the Man United game, where we saw literally nothing to take from the game, nothing, and they're just saying, "Oh, come on, onwards we go." In Conte, we trust. It's like they haven't taken in what's just happened. How can you have faith in this team at the moment?
Let's look at some of the comments. So we've got Bournemouth deserve the goal. Tyrese said our defenders are just awful. Terry has said Conte ball. This is absolutely shocking. The wheels are starting to come off. I don't think they're starting to come off, Terry. I think the wheels are off. The wheels have been off for the last 4, 5, 6 games.
We're sparking all over the asphalt.
Which Alan has said, this manager is clueless, hopeless. Please go. You are the weakest link. To has said sometimes I think Conte is possessed by Gareth Southgate. Hang on. Are they attacking on your one?
They haven't scored another yet. No, not quite. I think this is the big problem, isn't it, Savva? Because if Conte does get backed, he will do well at Spurs. I do believe that. He will get results. The thing is, Conte will not get backed.
Of course.
And 22 years of saying the same thing is not going to change our minds overnight.
But this is the thing. This is my whole point. My whole point is, could I sit through and watch this insufferable anti-football if he was doing it with top-class players that are solid, we don't concede, and we shithouse our way to winning trophies? Yes. Are we going to give him those top-class players? No. So I don't want to watch this week in, week out. Ray Mooley has said, Davis, Skip, Sanchez, Emerson, Longley, Sessegnon don't play for any team in the top 6, not one. Agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
Big up, Azad. Thank you so much for the super chat. The money goes to charity, so thank you for that. And if anyone else wants to put in, please note the money does go to the British Heart Foundation. He has said, quite simply, Conte out, man. I'm sick of this. Come on, you Spurs, attack now. Luan has said, forget top 4. These are the same players that let Poch down. Well, some of them.
No, it doesn't matter, does it? Still bringing in of the like. The players that can get us so far and no further. Now, last, 3-4 years, almost nothing coming in worthwhile.
Yeah.
An occasional play. Even Romero, if we're honest, Romero isn't world class, but he could be one day. I think he's miles ahead of anybody else we got at the back there.
Oh, for sure.
But this is it. Sure. We all think because Romero's here, everything's going to be fixed. No, it isn't. Yeah. We got Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, and we look like we can't score goals now.
Tom Markman, big up to yourself, sir. Said I said 1-1. Tom, I think we both said 1-1, so we could be right as long as we don't go 2 down. Tyrese said, okay, the style isn't exciting, but it's the fact that our players can't do their jobs. But my question to this sort of argument is this. How comes then Bournemouth can be organised and do their jobs? Right? How comes the likes of Brighton can be organised and do their jobs? You're not telling me our players are that bad that they... So, Bournemouth now dominating play.
Yeah, they are. I think another part of the reason, the whole Conte argument, Conte's used to working with quality players. He hasn't got that here. He's got some.
Same
so
with
he's going
Jose.
to struggle. He's going to struggle because he doesn't usually have to deal with this kind of shit.
Yeah.
We need a manager that can bring the best out of this sort of shit. We do need a Harry Redknapp at the moment to get anything out of the team. Still not going to win anything, but might as well have some football, eh?
Steve, when you're saying stop blaming fans, I don't believe any fan is to blame for what's happening at this club. I believe firmly that this is fully on the owners that have been here for 22 years, and the style of play is fully on the manager. What I've said is I can't understand how fans still can't see the truth. So many years down the line, still can't see the truth.
In a way, I'm quite happily I'm blaming fans, because I always think if you're not satisfied with what you're seeing, you should complain about it. I don't believe
they go every week
following, cheering for no reason. This is bullshit. We should be saying that. The players need to hear it. The manager needs to hear it. And most important, the bloody chairman needs to hear it. That's the only way it gets things fixed. If you accept it and remain silent, they'll just carry on doing it.
Yeah.
So call it blaming fans if you like, but yeah, it's part of the problem as well. It's everything with this club. Everything. We've got this culture now, both on and off the pitch, where it's not that important, and just if you cheer loud enough, it'll come good somehow. It won't.
Absolutely. I hate this notion that, it's like when I get messages from people going, the players need us now more than ever. Get behind the team. And it's like, I've heard this year in, year out. That isn't what's going to make us better. It's not us. It's not. As much as we want to do the whole 12th man, there's so many issues at this club. But Tom, thank you so much for the super chat. More money going to charity. He said, better football down the local park with the amateurs.
You know what? There's something to be said for that. At least you see honest performances where people putting themselves out for the team. You do see that in a lot of amateur football as well. Some qualities there that are lacking in our current squad.
Yeah. Yeah. Just quickly, another super chat. Thank you so much, Shane O'Neill. Everyone's being very generous today. Bit satisfying seeing the happy clappers go nuts. I just think for me that the problem will be, and look, there's a long way to go in this game, right? We've still got an hour of this game to go. But the thing for me, Kuva, is even if you lose a game like this 1-0, there will still be fans that will, they won't be able to say anything. Nothing is Conte's fault. Nothing's wrong with the board. Nothing. You know what I mean? It will still be die-hard, rose-tinted glasses that they can't see as anything wrong. And it doesn't seem to matter how bad we play, how bad the results are.
There's another one where Hugo had to save us from player running through the middle. I've changed my mind. I first said we were going to lose 1-0 here. I think we could be on for a 3-0 loss.
Mate, Steve, listen, I'm not saying fans, listen, there's nothing wrong with being positive. I think, though, that it's about being honest. More than we use words a lot, as fans. We use words, emotive words, like positive, negative, That's fine, but for me, the word we should be using is honest fans. We should be honest. So when fans find positives that aren't there, what's that actually doing? That's called delusion. It's pure delusion. Even this morning,
it's the most basic analogy, isn't it? It's like going to a restaurant and you got a fly in your soup. Just sit there and just say, "Oh, it's a great restaurant. I'm not going to let that ruin it." Or do you complain and say, "There's a bloody fly in this. Sort it out." For me, I'm going to complain. What we see at this club the last few years has been absolute shit, and there's no dressing that up as anything else. It's been catastrophic. Right. The decline since the height of the Pochettino years, when we suddenly stop investing, unreal. You take it back to the beginning of Enoch, their rule. In fact, take it back to Sugar as well. Wasn't a lot better really under Sugar, was it?
No. Just quickly, Greg Spurs has said, yes, if the board people call you, tell them football is boring, I won't go to see the games. Okay, we'll sack the manager, we'll get you Pochettino back. Greg, every time you comment in a live show with me or on my YouTube channel, you mention Pochettino's name as though I want him. I think I've made it very clear I don't want Pochettino, but we can't link Pochettino with Conte. They're two different subjects. Mafusa said Conte's football at Juve, Chelsea and Inter was nowhere near as bad as this. We need to back him. The thing is, Mafusa...
We can back him all day long. The person that matters backing him is the one that's not going to do it, and that's Levy.
Yeah. That's the thing. Every manager has need backing, Mafuz. This is not a new problem for a manager. This is every manager at Tottenham Hotspur won't get the backing. Ronan, big up to yourself, my man. Hope you're well. Who have your boys got this weekend? Who are Liverpool playing? Are you playing this evening? Is it Leeds? I want to say you're playing Leeds. Sparkle away said, Savva, I've been saying this off the pitch is a shambles. So is Conte. So it's Conte and the players. Listen, sparkle away. I don't ever believe one person is at fault for a whole club. I think there's a lot of stuff. We've just hit the post. I've just seen Emerson Royal hit the post with a header.
Must have been his no-look header.
No-look header. I don't listen. Yeah, so sorry, sparkle away. I don't ever believe it's one thing. As I've said, the main crux of the club and the bigger issue of the 22-year tenure and the strategy is on Enoch and Levy. However, when you watch game after game like this, no matter what 11 we put out, and it's this defensive, I don't understand how people can't put anything at the feet of the manager. Every other manager we've had has taken blame, but Conte seems to be above blame, and I don't understand that.
For me, it just feels like we're suffering this brand of football just for the sake of it. In terms of success, nothing is changing here. Nothing.
Right. Mate, here's a question for you, Kuva. I'm quite happy with this question as well. If we lose today, are we going to then start seeing Conte-style interviews that we saw last year when we lost games like we did against Borough and Burnley? Are we all of a sudden going to start seeing we can't compete, I've got to be backed, after 3 months ago telling us he was really happy with the window and he sees the plan?
Depends what he's been promised, really, doesn't it? Just seen the royal effort. Actually, it was a bit unlucky there.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't. But again, all we seem to do is be good in the air these days.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Was it Royal or was it the defender?
Might have been the defender, which should explain a bit. Was it even sunny? I've got in the final touch. They just showed him. It was a packed area anyway. A lot of red shirts going up at the time. That's the big question, though, isn't it? Whatever it was you asked, because I can't remember. I was just keyed up to reply with something and I forgot.
If we lose this game, are we going to start seeing the Conte?
Oh yeah,
the kind of toys out the pram interviews, we could call them.
You know what? I hope so, because at least the show he gives a monkeys about all this. If it will show then as well, quite clearly, he's not happy with what he's been served up so far.
Mm-hmm. Just quickly, champions of Italy. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before earlier in this stream. Napoli's recruitment has been absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal recruitment. And you think they lost Koulibaly, they lost, was it Mertens? They lost. Their recruitment has been sublime. That's how you do it without having billions and billions of pounds.
Just quickly, getting some quality like Ndombele.
Crystal Palace have taken the lead against Southampton. Odsonne Edouard. Aaron Ramsey has scored for Norwich. That's not. Who was the one that played for Arsenal? That wasn't Aaron Ramsey, was it?
It was, wasn't it?
I don't know. That can't be, can it? Can anyone?
Sorry, Aaron Ramsey.
Hang on, let me have a look. I didn't. Live games. Let's go to the English Championship. When I say Norwich, lineups. No, it's not. It's a 19-year-old. I was just thinking to myself, what
It's about his level though. Or is it? No, Norwich are probably a bit better than that now. He was washed up a few years back. Yeah, the whole recruitment in general, you look at other teams doing it the right way. Look at Newcastle, how well they've identified the weakest areas of the team, bought from the back, strengthened. It's all coming together for them nicely. We're having wild pot shots at players that might turn out to be better than what we've got.
Right.
There's no sense of purpose at all. Everybody knows it.
My favourite Scottish team has scored, Kuva. Bonnie Rig Rose. I love that name. They have just scored. Kevin Smith has scored for Bonnie Rig Rose. I love that name.
Although there's nothing better than the old Scottish clash of Forfar and East Fife, is there?
Oh, what? Forfar, East
and it
Fife,
happened that one time, and I remember Jess Stelling like pissing himself about it.
Yeah. Azad, thank you so much again for the super chat. As always, if anyone wants to put super chats in, the money goes to charity. He said, Savva, how is Eddie Howe getting a better tune of his players in less time with less quality? I can't stand this atrocity, Conte out. Now, this is a subject I brought up the other day. When we can talk about players all we want, but when I look at what he's done with Willock, what he's done with Almiron, what he's done with Shah, what he's done with Joe Linton, how's he done that?
Easy for me. Easy for me. Conte's system relies on us soaking up pressure, breaking with talent, breaking with precision. Relies on perfection at the back. You've got to be rock solid in every position at the back of the team, and then the wing backs have got to have precision and ability going forward. We've got none of that, so we're failing. Whereas Eddie Howe, he will assess what he's got in the team, and he will set about a system of play that allows for not being at your best at times, allowing for mistakes, and keeping a general state of play going. In Newcastle's place, a certain position this season, they're playing more the sort of gegenpress. They're playing that very aggressive forward press, and it creates the opportunities up front there, the opposition's end of the pitch, takes the pressure off their own defence, keeps their attacking players in and around the box ready to pull the trigger. It's working. It's simple. They got the players to do it. You can mess up at times because that's the whole idea on the counter press as well. If you do lose the ball, you win it back very quickly. It helps them. We do the opposite. We're looking for perfection to play this brand of football, and we do not have players that can generate perfection.
That for me is the worry with Conte, that his style is all or nothing, right? His style relies, as you said, on every component in the team being great. Whereas what Eddie Howe's doing at Newcastle is giving them a bit of an identity, confidence. So listen, for me, this is what I keep saying to people. When everyone keeps telling me that Conte takes zero blame, I'm sorry. I can't hear it. I can't hear that he takes zero blame. Chelsea are 3-0 down at Brighton. Yeah. And Steve, I'm going to come back to this in a second, but Bedknobs and Broomsticks, great account. I said, afternoon, Savva Kuva, this is killing me. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, I would say that this football is killing me, but I'm just starting to get so used to it that it's not killing me now. It's become the norm. Steve has said Ten Hag was a huge miss. Again, another manager with a philosophy. Another manager that will drill into his... No, but probably not. But at least I reckon he'd try and play.
We'd have some better style of football, but nobody's going to win anything here.
Oh, yeah, but so this is the thing, Kuva. When we have this chat, I think it's really important that fans decipher the difference, right? When I'm talking about these managers coming in, I'm not talking about anyone who's coming in and winning with Spurs, because the board don't allow for that. But what I am talking about is coming in and not making us look like my local Sunday league team, the way we set up. Lynn Simpson has said, Savva, Napoli are buying round pegs for round holes. Spurs are not doing that. Levy seems to think you can buy any player and they will click. Most of these players are attacking players, not defensive. Look, for me, I've got to put all of them in that. Levy, Paratici, Conte, these guys must have meetings, right? These guys must have meetings where they go, right, what do we need? What do we need? And this is what I said earlier. I know he's paid a lot of money, Kuva, but if Paratici and Levy keep buying in players that he does not want, at what point does he go, I'm off?
Walks away at the end of his contract for me. Summertime.
And isn't that what we said all summer?
Yeah.
Said all summer. Said that is what is going to happen. He will be.
Yeah, it's about endurance, isn't it? It's a test of his endurance. See out his contract, get his big payday, which he's getting paid massive amounts of money, and he can walk away with his head held high and just say, well, they never got the players in. His reputation isn't going to decrease. It will be down to the board again, but I'm sure we'll blame it on Conte. We always spin this way, don't we? It's always the manager's fault somehow.
For me, it's all of them. For me, I'm looking at this and saying this is all this is everything at the club. There is no plan. We need to rip up. We need new owners, right? That bring in a new director of football, that bring in a new manager, and we start from scratch and we go, right, this is where we are. What is our plan for the next 5 years? And I know we've been in, I suppose, projects for 22 years, but I'm at the stage now where nothing's happening imminently. We need a chairman to come in and a director of football to come in and go, right, give us 5 years. This is our plan for the next 2, 4, 6 years. This is our plan. This is what we're going to do. And at least then as fans, we go, thank you for your honesty. I'm either going to pay to go and watch this or I'm not. But at the moment, no fan can sit here and tell me that they have any clue as to what the plan is. Conte, by the way, is not a plan. Just hiring Conte, Kuva, for me, that's not a plan.
Oh, that's to stop Levy having his doors kicked off by Brian.
Right.
Dale, basically, isn't it?
Right. Can you imagine if Brian Dale ever got Levy's address?
Well, I don't think the address is too much of a problem, is it? You can go to the club.
Getting in.
I know what you mean. It is the whole thing. That's the trouble. That's why you're saying, don't let Conte off the hook and everything. But for me, it will always fall down to Levy. He is the one that oversees all of this. So I've got to stick with it. You get rid of him, we can improve this club, or get him to change his ways. That's the other option that people say, the Levy out crew don't look at. We do look at this. What we want to do is change what's happening. If Levy stays and changes what he's doing, no argument. He can actually fix things. He can become a great football chairman. But at the moment, he's a businessman and he's a crap football chairman.
Can we have this chat, Kuva? Let's have this chat. I keep hearing this a lot. If Conte goes, Kane goes. So I've got a couple of scenarios I want to run past you, Mr. Kuva 99. First and foremost, I don't care if Conte's here. All the while we're playing this football, no one's telling me Kane's going to stay. I don't care. Conte or not, there is not a chance Kane's going to sign a new contract while we're doing this. Second of all, this whole Kane will go. I don't know if fans realise that it's not his decision if he goes until the end of his contract. It will require someone to come someone to come in the summer and say, right, Daniel Levy, we want to take your best player with 1 year left, right? Now, at that stage, Daniel Levy's got an issue, right? Daniel Levy's got the issue of, do I keep my best player, appease fans, and lose him for nothing? Or do I take 75 million that might be being offered to me with him with 1 year.
Oh,
Yeah.
5 million off what I was going to say.
Right. What, 80 or 70 or what?
70, yeah.
Right. So he's got, this is the thing. When people are saying Kane will just go, he hasn't, Levy's got to accept the asking price. This isn't, we saw this last year. Kane can't just decide he wants to go. That's what happens when you're a top player. Clubs want top dollar for you, right?
Yeah. End of the day, was one thing Daniel Levy certainly is a businessman. So if he weighs up the fact that Kane's not going to be happy and go on a free, he's going to take 76, even 60 million over that, isn't he? We look at the stories coming from like the likes of Bayern Munich being huge admirers of Kane. Of course they are. Most clubs are.
Yeah.
But if I was Harry Kane, both of us being Spurs fans, if I was in his position, you know what? I would probably look at Bayern Munich right now and think, I could do with some trophies. I should have something to show at the end of my career. Not going to get it here. Just don't see it any way or shape happening, not unless there's a takeover, and you can't rely on that. I think both it's a case of them thinking we've heard this bullshit all time and time again. I think that turning point for me was Mourinho getting sacked. Kane suddenly thought that's it, dropping form because he is disillusioned with this club. I think most of us were. Conte's kind of saved it there because him coming in has revitalised Kane. Mm-hmm. But if it's all going wrong again, the rumours will come back again, and I just think it's more than just rumours. I wouldn't blame him in the slightest if he went. Sonny as well. They're better players than enduring this crap.
Listen, I wouldn't blame them at all. I just think when fans say flippantly, "Oh, Kane will leave," I feel like you've got to remember there's a lot that has to happen for Kane to leave. And Levy will be put in the ultimate tight spot this summer, the tightest spot he's ever been in. If Kane turns around and says, "I'm not signing a new contract," and offers come in for him with 1 year to go, because as a businessman, you're going, hang on, do I get, let's just use the 70 million number.
Conte walks.
Right. So, but then you've added another layer to this complex situation, Kuva, because now you've got, well, Conte's walked. Can he lose Conte and Kane in one window? Or does the 70 odd million for Kane outweigh having him for 1 more year? That's what you've got to weigh up, right? Because
I honestly think first 3 weeks or so of that summer transfer window, if we don't see some big name signings coming in, and I mean players that really make you go, wow, what a signing. If we don't see that, I think that's the catalyst for both of them going. Mm-hmm. Conte will just say, you know what, bollocks to this, it's never happening. Just being fed a whole string of bullshit like the rest of the managers said. Or didn't say, who we know, we talk about it as fans all the time. History repeats itself constantly at this club. It's a case of just hanging on for a couple of bright bits of sunshine in amongst the rain clouds, isn't it? Like Pochettino, Redknapp, Yol, hoping for another one. It's always going to end up back to a rainy day, though, isn't it?
Of course it is. Of course it is. Just quickly, a super chat here from Leighton. Hello, mate. Leighton. When you said the wheels were coming off, I was in full agreement with you. I think the thing for me is, I don't even think it's the wheels are coming off. I don't think the wheels were ever on properly. I think everyone's got well too excited with us finishing 4th in what was a dreadful Premier League year. If you look at it, it was a dreadful year. Liverpool and City were miles away from everyone else. Chelsea managed to get 3rd and didn't win a game for like the last 15 games of the season or something. Man United were in free fall. Yeah. Arsenal were average and we were average. The problem is getting that top 4 has almost, this is going to sound really backwards when I say this, we almost got it a year too soon. Because I think it's made people think we were better than we were. So then in the summer, when all these fans are going, title challenge, this, that, And then I'm sitting there going, what are you talking about? And getting called negative, being told I don't support Spurs, go and support City and all this. But it's common sense, right? The wheels can only come off if they were on in the first place. And I don't think they were. But could you imagine it was going to be this bad, Kuva?
Well, we're not in complete free fall and in danger of being relegated. So it's not absolute disaster areas, but it's just so unbearable to watch. That's what I can't stand. Why give up so much of your time to sit through this crap? For me, I've got to enjoy what I'm seeing. I follow Spurs because I enjoy football. I want to see some entertaining stuff. I want to see some signs of we're going to play take the game to other teams. And, I don't care if it has to be swashbuckling. I don't care if people are critical of that. How has playing defensive ever won us anything? Apart from, you get a couple of occasions. Ramos fluked us a cup. And George Graham before that got us a cup, wasn't it? Otherwise, the only times we ever have sustained success at this club is playing the proper Tottenham way. Free-flowing, passing, attacking football. Two-touch passing, attacking football. That was our tradition. It's been washed away over the years. The last 3 decades or so is gone. That for me is sickening. Half of our fans are too young to even remember what it was like before that. It was a hell of a lot better than you see nowadays, that's for sure.
But even without the swashbuckling football, Kuva, we've always had I don't want to use the word maverick because I think that's an injustice to these quality players. We've always had a player that you go, all right, that wasn't good today, but God, did you see what he did? We've always had players like that. Just quickly, Greg Spurs says, excuse me, if a player tells you I want to go, it means let me go, or it's very likely I'll underperform. Greg, we saw this last year with Kane. Players have X amount of power. Yeah. If a player like Basuma turned around, Højbjerg said, I'm not happy. Levy's going to go, 30, 40 minutes, get them out. This is Harry Kane. Yeah, this is Harry Kane. He's put himself into a position now where Kane has got 18 months left on his contract, and he's going to have to, if Kane hands in a transfer request or if bids come in, he has got to weigh up the money versus one more year of Harry Kane. Right? Now, not only the money, the backlash from the fans. Because if you lose Conte, I don't care if we lose Conte, but if lots of fans lose Conte, they'll go mad. Then if you lose Kane on top of that, if that happens, will fans then finally realise how bad let me get this, Levy and Enoch have been? Will they? I don't know they will, Kuva. There will still be fans not understanding.
Yeah, I agree. Some fans will just back whatever's happening. It seems to be enough for them. I don't know why.
Sorry, hang on. Sorry, Kuva. Sorry. Right, say what? If you actually listened to what I said, I completely understood. And Kuva and I talked about this a little while ago. I completely understand Antonio Conte's philosophy. I get it. The point is, for his philosophy to work, he needs top players in each position. My point is, he's not going to get that at this club. I don't know why you can't understand that. I get his philosophy. Whether I as a fan or Kuva as a fan or you as a fan, whether we choose to like that philosophy is a personal opinion. As I said, I would sit through this type of football and Conte ball if we had given him Skriniar. Yeah, if we'd given him James Maddison, if we'd given him players to play the system effectively, I'm all for it. I will suffer what I like as football. But when I'm watching this, I just think, why are you here? What's the point? What's the point of Conte being at our club? And I guarantee you, Kuva, him and his agents must be having this type of conversation as to how long does my reputation take a battering?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at the moment, like I said, I don't think Conte's reputation takes any battering at all. If he leaves in the summer, people know what's going on at this club. We see the level of investment. We see what we've done to previous managers. Conte's safe, no problem at all. If he decides to sign a contract extension, knowing all this shit's going on,
Right.
It's on him entirely, then, isn't it?
Right.
He knows what he's getting into, and no excuse. But he can go practically wherever he wants and be successful, except for here.
Yeah. No, mate, absolutely. Absolutely. 1 second. I'm just gonna see if Perchy wants to come. Perchy's asked to come on, if you're cool with that, Kuva.
Yeah, of course.
I was going to say, if you're not, I've just made it really awkward now because I've said it live in front of people, haven't I? Like, Perchy, if you are watching, I'm just going to send you a WhatsApp, mate. Perchy's got lots to say on the situation. Let's get a fresh perspective in. The problem is, Perchy, that should be with you now, mate. The problem with this for me is simple. You've got fans, when he's like Greg's saying, this bad what? I mean, if fans can't see how bad this is, I don't know what to say, Kuva. I'm not trying to convince anyone it's bad. It's bad. It's terrible to watch.
It is. That's the thing for me. Like I've always make very clear, I do not subscribe to this bullshit of the result is all that matters. I've got to enjoy what I'm watching. I've got to be excited by it. I've got to get a buzz from watching my team. If I don't get that, I'm going to complain.
Sure.
And if you're going to convince me that this is the right way to go to win stuff, we better win stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do we look like we're going to win stuff now?
No, this isn't winning. I keep hearing this. I keep hearing we're going to win things like this. Yeah. Listen. Let me make one final point on Conte. Do I think he's a world-class manager? I think he's a class manager when he's got the ingredients he needs. The same with Jose Mourinho. The same as if Klopp joined us. My point is not that we don't need to back Conte. My point is that we won't back Conte. My point is that people keep saying give it 3 windows. Why? What's going to happen in those windows? What do you suddenly believe is going to happen in those windows, people? It's ridiculous. Rafa, thank you so much for the super chat. I love your picture there. Said, Savva, I've been told to wait until we click. I keep hearing it as well, Rafa.
Yeah.
I've heard every excuse from fans. And again, it's... Look, all I've said is...
You know what's going to really annoy me from this game as well, if I judge it on the first half alone? I think Kane's played fairly well. He's been trying his hardest to get something going up front. The rest of the team have been woeful, absolutely woeful. There's nothing to go with him. No support whatsoever. Come the end of the game, I know for a fact there will be fans going, Kane played shit. Why don't we drop him? It's like no appreciation for what's actually happening on the games.
Well, he's bought Lucas Moura on for Ollie Skip. Second half. So again, no Spence, no Hill. This is where I stop feeling sorry for him, Kuva, is if you just constantly keep playing the same players that underperform, then what do you... I mean, look, we've got people here saying, sack him right now, worst tactics in the league. Emerson is shit.
Emerson, he's actually big up Emerson for his effort today. He actually managed one of those shots that goes out of the stadium from inside the box. That's impressive.
I'm struggling to get the link to work again now. Have you got it working?
No, it's just dropped at the moment. Probably doing us a favour, mate.
Yeah, hang on. There's Lucas Moura. Right, okay. I think I've got it back for the moment. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Perchy, are you coming on? Are you just making me? Teasing
us?
WhatsApp for no reason? I mean, when we're saying we can't do anything with these shit players, I mean, again, one of the things I'll fall back to is if I look at Arsenal squad, is it amazing? No. So you can do something with them. When I look at Newcastle's squad, is it amazing? No, but look what Howe's getting out of them. So I don't subscribe
I
to this.
always go back to this, the end of the Ramos era. We had some decent players in that squad, and it didn't work out. We were playing some dreadful football. It wasn't down to the players. It was down to the manager. We had Redknapp come in. He's not the greatest manager in the world, but he is a motivator at least. And all he did was got the players believing in playing football again, playing with a smile on their face, passing the ball around. Simple as that. We don't even have that nowadays. That was a bit of a shot. Must have been a Ben Davies. Yeah,
Chelsea have pulled one back. Kai Havertz. Corey, listen, do I think Hill is the answer? No, I don't. But my point is, we keep seeing Skippy play. We keep seeing Lucas. We keep seeing Basuma, Bentancur, Højbjerg. What is there to lose at this stage to let Brian Hill have a run? What are we losing?
For the record, I'm still saying I don't think Hill will make it at this club. I think we will sell him. But
I agree.
With what we've got at the moment, Lucas Moura, you might as well give Hill a chance. He can't be worse. He literally can't be worse.
We're 2-0 down. We are 2-0 down. Kiefer Moore's turned into Cristiano Ronaldo today. Hang on, let's see the goal. Let's see the goal. Whipped it in. We're a shambles, Kuva. It's an absolute shambles.
Good header from him. You've got to question our defence though.
Right.
So easy for other teams to defend crosses. So impossible.
Right. So
Perchy.
my mic's not working. I don't think I can.
No, you're fine. I can hear you.
Hello. Oh, that's better. How's it going, guys?
I am personally, hello, by the way, I am personally blaming you for that second goal.
Oh, well, I'm watching it right now.
Oh, you're gone again.
Your mic's gone again.
You pulled a
Should we
wire
just do a whole show? Should we do a whole show of watching Perchy with no sound?
It's better now. Can you hear me?
It's better than watching the game.
Yeah.
You're back. You look, honestly, you look very well, mate. You look really well.
Just made Kiefer Moore look like an absolute world-class striker, by the way.
Oh, no.
Honestly, I'm watching it right now. It's absolutely
Oh, my God. I've just watched that more closely now. Going in for a header. Emerson is trying to use his foot.
I'll tell you what. Can anyone in the chat please do some digging for me? Has Kiefer Moore ever scored a brace in the Premier League before?
No, this is only his third goal of the season. He's only scored one before today. Honestly.
Well, I'm going to go and put some money on him getting a hat trick.
Oh, no, 100%. It's game over. Done. Job done. But
Tristan, Savva, can you predict the excuses? Tristan, I did a show this morning where I already listed the excuses for if we lose. It's the same thing every time. Perchy, look, you've heard what we've been saying.
Yep.
Talk to me. I mean, not just about this scoreline at the moment. But what is going on at Tottenham at the moment?
We've got such a combination of problems at the moment. We've got a manager that is so stubborn in his ways that won't change it, believes that he's right and everyone else is wrong, which you can argue it in both ways. I sit and go, like, do I think Conte's right for the job? Probably, but then I'm not being funny. Like, he's got to also take accountability for these results. These results aren't solely based on players. Because I'm not being funny. These players are good enough to win, beat Bournemouth. There's no disrespect. They're good enough to go to sport in a way and win games. Like, let's be funny. I mean, we also just to sort of carry on what I'm just saying, we've got a balance of fans that go, we've got an incredible squad, but then we go and lose. We go to Bournemouth and look terrible. We haven't looked. I actually can't remember the last time we looked good in a game. Even when we battered Leicester, I thought we were crap. We only looked good when Son came on. Like, I actually can't remember a game where I can sit down and go, we outplayed a team for 90 minutes. Genuinely can't remember the last time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, Kuva, can you remember when did we last dominate 90 minutes of football? When did we Arsenal at home the end of last season when they went down to 10 men?
No, come on, Everton. You've got to say Everton. Everton didn't try to play against us, did they?
What, this season, Everton?
Yeah. They sat back up the entire team.
Yeah, but was it? I mean,
then again, is that dominating? Is just having possession and not doing much dominating?
No, I don't count that as dominating. Possession doesn't win games of football. I stand by that prospect.
In that case, last time possibly Norwich last season.
No, I thought Arsenal at home last season was probably. But Dave says this squad's bang average, but I'm not being funny. I don't actually look at this squad as bang average. I think it's we're severely underperforming at the moment. Is massively what we're doing. And do I think we're going to go to Marseille and win on Tuesday night? No.
But Perchie, this is a club, Bournemouth, that have won 1 in 6. West Ham just walked all over them last week. And then I'm going to say it, and you guys, sorry, I apologise for saying it. We're getting back to Dr. Tottenham territory.
Yeah, 100%.
Aren't we?
100%.
We're getting back to Dr. Tottenham. But I was told that Conte had changed that mentality, that we were hard to beat.
People sitting there saying we've got this winning mentality. I can't see it. I haven't seen us have winning mentality, whatever that actually means, for ages. Genuinely can't remember the last time we had winning mentality, because we rolled over against. I mean, we were poor on the week, and yes, I'll sit there and say the absolute decision. Kane's disallowed goal on midweek was a disgrace, but let's not put over the fact that we were god awful for the majority until they went 1-0 up. Well, not even that. We were god awful for the majority of that game.
I think we had a couple of seasons under Pochettino where we would basically expect to win. I'd say it's where we nearly won the title.
But it was those 2 seasons, weren't it? It was the one where Leicester won it, and it was the season when Chelsea won it.
Yeah, that's right.
Those 2 seasons were the season where I looked at us and go, that was our opportunity, and that's where I fall onto the whole blame the ownership, because that was the time when we should have gone. That's where you put all your eggs in the basket. Now go and commit it. We're one step away from greatness. But we didn't. We held on, and we sat, and we basically held on to what we had. And then we went stale. And
imagine during that period if it had been us that signed Sadio Mane.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be Sadio Mane. Really, realistically,
he's that one that gets you that win out of a stale draw, isn't it? Yeah.
It could have been anyone of that caliber. Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't care. I don't care what you guys say. After this, I want us to go out. I want a bid on the table for Kiefer Moore. I want a bid in the January window, Kiefer Moore. So we're making
the rest of the season. By the way, I'm putting it out there. He won't score again. He will not get more than 6 goals this season. So he's on 3. Oh God, here we go.
Right, we're bringing on Bentancur, Dyer, and Perisic.
Game over. Job done.
But
finished.
But again, I mean, you notice we've scored. Ryan Sessegnon has scored. It hasn't gone in on my app yet, but it's come up on Sky Sports.
There goes my.
He has pulled one back. It is 2-1. My stream's a little bit delayed on my TV.
Let's have a look.
It's 2-1. Sessegnon has pulled one back. The mighty Ryan Sessegnon hat trick is on. Game on.
Good finish. Good finish.
Well done.
Right.
I haven't seen it yet, so I will confirm to.
But again, guys, what it can't be is, even if we come back to rescue this,
it doesn't matter. Is it? It's
irrelevant. This can't go on, can it?
No, of course not.
It's just getting every game now. I'm really embarrassed to support Spurs at the moment. Here's a question, guys. Rootsy Popper said, you've got Liverpool who still score for fun despite their struggles. Could Conte be sacked if Spurs lose to Marseille and Liverpool? Now, let's set the scene on that. If we don't win today, and then we don't beat Marseille and we don't beat Liverpool, that would then be 7 without a win. So why wouldn't he be sacked? Any manager before him would have been. I'm just asking.
For me, easy enough. Conte, Levy knows that Conte is last chance alone.
Right.
That's it. It's going to hang on to. We can go 12, 13 games without a win. He's still going to hang on to him. because there literally is no other choice. The only thing we can do at this stage now is if we sack Conte, it's Ryan Mason coming in.
Yes.
It will be.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I'll bet the football improves.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Conte's a cup final manager. We need to put some respect on his name. He's managed cup final.
Do I think he's going to get sacked? No. I think Levy's now going to have. He's got to do one or two things now. Literally one of.
Oh, you're gone again.
You've gone again. I'm just trying to work out what we've done with these substitutions. Yeah. Can anyone work out what we've done here? So Dyer, Bentancur, and Perisic.
No. He didn't bring Perisic on because Perisic was going to replace Sessegnon because Sessegnon scored. Kept him on. He's only made 2 changes. But what I was going to say with the whole sacking of Conte, if you get rid of Conte, there's no point doing it now. If you're going to do it at the end of the season, his contract's up basically, isn't it? The end of this season, isn't it? Yeah. So but is it worth sacking him now? No. But if you don't, you have to kind of go. You can't go 50-50 with it, in my opinion. If you do it, you go all in and you get rid of him and you bring in someone like it and you build a team progressive. If you don't and you stick with him, you buy the players in January now that he needs. You either go all in or you don't. If you're going to go 50-50 with it, don't bother.
I agree.
It's almost like saying perhaps we should try having a plan and a direction, isn't it? Strange that.
It's weird, isn't it? That's how it works.
I'm just looking. Okay, so what have we got? We've got Royal and Cess on the wing backs. Dyer, has he gone to a back 4?
Dyer, I'm assuming Dyer came on for Sanchez because Sanchez was shocking.
He's got Dyer, Longley and Davis. Then the midfield 2 is Bentancur and Højbjerg. And then Son, Kane and Mora. Right, okay. All right. Okay. Oh, it just feels every game is a mismatch now, isn't it? Of your turn to go, you play.
But the thing is, it's the substitutions he's made. He's made 2 subs there. But none of them have gone, do you know what? Here we go. Let's go and throw like Brian Hill. And I don't think he's the greatest, but you go and take off a wing back or something and just go, do you know what? We're going to throw an attacking player on and give it a go. Yep. The changes these are just changes when you're 2-0 up and you're going, do you know what? We've got a game in the week, so we're going to bring off a player, bring on a normal similar player.
To be fair, we have actually been creating more chances since that horrible start. But since the goal, we've probably been bossing it a little bit even since the second goal.
I would expect us to as well, Kuva.
So, I mean, it might be a case of Conte's just saying, right, we have got control of this now. Let's just make sure we're not going to make any more stupid mistakes at the back. And Sanchez had to come off. He was absolutely shocking.
The thing is, Kuva, right? For as much as fans can sit in the chat and say, "Oh, the team shocking, we haven't got the players." When you look at that midfield 2, Bentancur plays for Uruguay and has played for Juventus. Højbjerg always looks good for Denmark and was in the Euro Team of the Year. You've got Son and Kane. You've got Longley, who's played for France, Barcelona, and Seville. It's not. We're not Bournemouth level. Like Percy said, no disrespect to Bournemouth, but it can't be. Oh well, I feel sorry for Conte. He's not got the players when you're at Bournemouth that have won 1 and 6.
If we went to the Etihad and they battered us in the first half, I go, do you know what? You can hold your hands up. They're probably a much bigger level than us at the moment. Bournemouth, statistically, yes, they're doing really well in the league this season. Statistically, one of the worst teams in the league at the moment. Statistically, like you look at their players and you look at them going, it's a championship level squad. They're playing out of their skins, yes. But should we be 2-0 down? Should we have been 2-0 down to them? No. We could go and win this game 3-2, by the way, and it'll paper over the cracks. We've won a game of football. It really doesn't make any difference.
There will be people out there saying, what a result. Really tough
what a comeback and stuff. It's irrelevant. Like we shouldn't be 2-0 down in the first place.
Sorry, just quickly. Greg Spur, if you can't understand what I was saying, I'm really sorry. But let me try and make this simpler for you. My point was this. My point was Jose was sacked, right? Just as we were about to go into a cup final. Yeah, and I don't believe he had not won for 7 games. So my point was, and it was a hypothetical, if we lost this, then lost to Marseille, then lost to Liverpool, that would be 7 games without a win for Conte. At what point does he go? I'm not saying sack him. I was answering a question somebody else asked. It's not about a winner's fan mentality. We keep talking about this, Greg. I can have the mentality of a winner. It doesn't matter. If we're not going to back Conte with winning players, it doesn't matter what my mentality is.
So we might win now. Perisic is coming on for Emerson Royale, so we actually have to deal with that for another half an hour.
Oh, it's yeah. Again, I agree with this. Why would Ten Hag be sacked? I don't understand that at the bottom of your. Why would Ten Hag be sacked? That doesn't make any sense to me. Guys, where do we go from here? I mean, if we don't pull this back, I know we probably could, we should. What do we then do against Marseille? You know, I mean, who plays? Because it feels like at the moment everyone's getting a bit of a game.
Oh, hang on. Here we go. Bournemouth corner. More up for it, surely. No, I would have seen something by now, wouldn't we? In the
yeah. You'd see it in the comments or
yeah. But yeah, no, what I was going to say, you're saying about where do we go? I think I honestly don't know. The irony is we could go and beat Marseille in midweek. It might be funny. They're not an amazing football club. Like their squad level, we're much better than them. But do I think we will? No.
Right.
Do I think we'll go and get a draw out there? Probably, and then we'll just have to hope that Frankfurt and Sporting draw as well. It's kind of my thought process. It's like, and that's kind of how I think. I think we'll probably get a draw, and we just have to pray that the other two get a draw, and we finish top of the group. Again, it'll paper over the cracks because realistically, we should have won every game in that group. Realistically, and that's not me oversighting it. We should do.
No, you're right. My worry about going to Marseille is going to be 1, the hostility.
Yep.
2, Marseille have to win to qualify, right?
Yeah, Marseille have to win. Yeah.
Marseille have to win. I think if they win, they qualify. And let's be really honest. If we go out of that group, right, there's no excuses for me. If we go out of that group.
Oh, that's another point as well. Look at the Marseille players that are available for this match that weren't the first game.
And they were better than us.
Look at the ex-Gooners, ex-West Ham.
Sanchez, Guendouzi's. Who's the other fella? What's the left back, or whatever his name is?
There's about 4 or 5, isn't there? 4 or 5 they used to play for our arch rivals. They're going to look to put one over on us.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Newcastle United 2, Villa 0. Newcastle are now above us in the table.
Yeah.
Again, I'll say it again. I don't care. What a fantastic job Eddie Howe's done.
Yeah.
A phenomenal job.
Manager.
Phenomenal. But when you watch Newcastle, I know what they're trying to do. Yeah. I get it. I get what they're trying to do. When I watch us, it feels like the first half of games we set up to not attack. Then we go 1-0 down. Then we have a kind of half-hearted effort and fans go, oh, we never gave up. There's that winning mentality. No. Let's have that mentality from the beginning of games. Go and attack teams.
You're spot on everything you say there. And the thing is you get all the people that will probably in the comments going, oh, well, they've now got oil money and all that rubbish. And it's not very funny. They've hardly gone and spent loads of money, have they? They spent relative, like, compared to everybody else in the league, barring, even with Man City in there. Like, I mean, they've gone and spent money on a striker that, ironically, is injured and they can't even play him. They got a centre midfielder they got in January who walks into our team, by the way. All this nonsense about Højbjerg and all this, and we've got a really good midfield. It's donkey. Bruno Guimaraes walks into our midfield. End of conversation.
Botman walks into our defence. Trippier walks into the right back slot. Name
Bruno Guimaraes.
That's what I'm saying.
But this is why, Perchy, this is why people can't separate the conversation. So if I'm speaking specifically about Conte, I'm speaking specifically about Conte.
Yeah.
My wider issues, yes, the owners. My other massive issue is Paratici. Because I look at all the players that moved in this summer, and I'm looking and going, oh my God, what a brilliant player. What a great signing. What a brilliant player. Where were we? We were busy haggling over Jed Spence. We were busy bringing in 60 million Richarlison, who will only play if Kane or Son are injured. We were busy bringing in a 33-year-old left wing back that, let's be honest, hasn't really set the world alight. So
3-0 now Newcastle.
Wow, 3-0. Yeah.
Again, there was never going to be a new manager bounce in that one for Villa. No way.
I mean, but again, for me, what Eddie Howe is doing completely for me undermines the argument of all our players are crap. What can Conte do with them?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, name me one. No one would have said we'd have had Joel Linton in our side. Let's be honest. Right. But he's turned Joel Linton into a decent player.
Mate,
Longstaff still playing.
Yeah. Longstaff, Joel Linton, Almiron, Willock, Fabian Schär. Damn, these are not superb players. And if Spurs signed them, our fans would go nuts. So
yeah.
To say that what can a manager do with play? I'm sorry, you've got to do better.
Yeah,
you've got to. This is
so. But then, how many top managers in a row do we need to have that all get the same out of their slot?
But the problem is, Kuva, for me, the two top managers that we've brought in both rely on certain things. They both rely on a certain way of playing, right? That for me was the issue. I would rather now get to the stage where we, as I said to you, where you're bringing in an Eddie Howe and you're saying, right, we're only going to buy you young players now. Go and build something because this is. I
wanted Graham Potter. So I said I thought Graham Potter would be the perfect fit for us.
That's who I wanted, yeah.
Graham Potter was the one I wanted because I said he'd been the perfect fit for us because we would have been able to use a manager to develop. Yes, it may not. The thing is as I said, and I use this as an example. The fact we've got Conte and now expect us to start challenging for stuff because everyone talks about how an amazing football manager he is. Like, then I expect him to start challenging for the title. I expect him to start challenging for the Champions League. I expect him to win a domestic cup. Like,
I just expect him to get some football that I can stomach. Forget Perchy, forget winning trophies, forget league challenges, forget Champions League. I'm starting with the bare minimum of football. I want him to get some football on this pitch where you go, that was good.
But Savva, I would happily accept the way we play football if we win every day. If we win every game and we start winning and we're in a title race up to May and stuff, I'll go, do you know what? I'll accept us being bored out of our heads watching this. But we have an opportunity to actually go and we actually have an opportunity to win something. You can only accept this style of football for so long until we start winning stuff.
See, for him, I'm more demanding than that. Even if we're winning, if we're not winning in style, I don't want to watch it.
Oh, it's great defending that is honestly.
See, but again, this game has followed the same pattern as every Antonio Conte game. Yeah, it is first half very underwhelming. No intent to really attack and put sustained pressure on. Second half, when we're losing, right now let's go and have a go. That for me is reactive. That's not a game plan. That's reactive.
Yeah. But Savva, as I've said before, we've now come to a stage where we're basically at a stage where unless Harry Kane and Heung-min Son have a 10 out of 10 game, we don't win a game of football. We've gone to that situation where we're just relying on two players again to get us out of trouble. And genuinely, unless Harry Kane has an amazing game, we don't win it. And that's literally how we've come to now. It just like people said about Perisic coming in, he'll bring all this. I haven't thought Perisic has been amazing. I thought he's been okay.
I think I've seen Perisic put in a couple of good crosses in his Spurs career. Other than that, I don't know what he does. If I'm honest, I don't.
There was a little. Did you watch that period of play, Savva? That we're stringing a few passes together all of a sudden. It was like out of the blue. It looked good.
But when we start stringing passes together, it completely ruins that theory again, Kuva.
Yes, 2-2.
We scored, have we?
Ben Davis.
Oh my God, Ben Davis and Ryan Sessegnon. Good header, that Ben.
I told you we'll go and win this game now. We'll turn it around and go.
We should be winning this game.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, we should be.
We should be winning this. I don't want fans to suddenly, oh my God, what a come. We should be winning this game.
We should be 3 or 4-0 up, should we?
You shouldn't be 2-0 down at Bournemouth. You just shouldn't be.
How did it come from? What did it come from again? Set piece.
Another corner. Yeah. Another corner.
Good header. Good run, Ben. No one. Yeah, good. Nice. Good goal. Good set piece. Here you go.
Right.
Set piece FC.
I mean, it's ironic, isn't it? Because before Conte came in, we were god awful at set pieces. I literally saw us take a corner and we were more worried about the counter attack.
Do you know what?
I'd like to have another look at that goal actually, because if VAR isn't interfering, we'll be all right. But it looked like he might have got away with one there. There was a bit of a push, I think.
Yeah, I just saw that. I know what you're saying.
Just quickly, guys. Sorry, right? James Hunter. Any of this sort of stuff, I will block immediately. The whole you didn't even celebrate. Sorry, mate. I'm not celebrating pulling a goal back against Bournemouth when we've been this shit.
We got awful.
I'm sorry, mate. Listen, this whole you didn't set. What do you want? Perchie told me we scored. Then I watched it on my screen. What do you want from me? What do you want me to do? Oh.
Yes, that's the trouble. Savva and I are several minutes behind on the stream.
See, this is what James. I will block you. One more, I will block you. Free the right side said that shut the Doom Merchants Conte out twats up. Well, I haven't said Conte out, but it hasn't shut me up at all. This is what football fans have come to, right? You pulled back 2 goals against a promoted team, and people think, oh, it's okay then. Nothing's changed.
It's funny. We've scored 2 goals against a team that has Dominic Solanke and Kiefer Moore up top. Just putting out there, by the way. Let's be frank and honest here. Dominic Solanke
is the first one getting blocked.
The fake fan. Oh dear. Luke, have you even been to a White Hart Lane?
I'll tell you what. If as a fake fan, I'm allowed to claim back all the money I've spent in the last 40 years traveling around the world watching Spurs, then yes, I'm a fake fan. I'll have the money back, please.
I'll take the money back any day of the week. If I could take it all back, I would definitely.
Yeah, this is what I mean, Dave. This is what I mean. We're in this era where you've got children like James Hunter going, oh, I expect a fist pump. Why? I expect not to be 2-0 down at Bournemouth. A fist pump? No, go and win the game.
It's really difficult to get excited by a goal you've already heard happen and have to wait a couple of
minutes. That's a good point. Yeah, exactly.
Right. I'm not watching it in real time. It's very... I can't... Absolutely cracks me up. Of all the problems at Spurs, it's me not celebrating how people want me to celebrate.
Exactly. Yeah, get Perchie off and close the chat, Savva. We're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well done. Well done. We shouldn't have been 2-0 down.
God. The irony I find with it, people say all this stuff about this, and I'm really funny. Like, people were talking about challenging for trophies this season, yet people were getting yet again excited about individual results. And I always say this all the time: individual results are irrelevant unless we go and win something. When everyone was going on about us, and it was ironic when we still have fans singing the whole City thought they won it song. And I get so irate listening to that. And I sit there and go, City thought they won it, Tottenham pulled it back, blah, blah, we went to knocked them out and stuff. How many titles have Man City won since that song? How many? We sit there and go, it's absolutely incredible. We sing that song still.
Just so you know, Almiron has scored again.
Yeah, it's 4-0. Yeah. Who do I want as the next manager?
He's having one hell of a season.
He's got 6 in 6. Go on, whip that in. Finish that. Oh, good save, keeper. That's better. Again, when we start doing this in games, this completely blows away the theory that we can't do this from the beginning of the game. Why do we have to keep going behind to play football?
Yeah. Like, there's a part of me nowadays, I just want us to concede in the first minute so we can actually play football. Like, because we play until we concede. It's ridiculous. We didn't look like we were going to do anything until when Sporting scored in midweek. Yeah, it's just incredible, isn't it?
It's
Drawing a Bournemouth, we should be beating these regardless.
The thing is with the whole when to celebrate, when not to.
I think
I'm about to see what you've just seen.
No, I think it was the one you saw just a second ago. My screen's
right, okay. The thing is with the whole how to celebrate and etc. This club has drained me to the point where I just, why am I celebrating an equaliser against Bournemouth?
Yeah. We need to be, that's what I mean. I said
like, go and get the win. I'll be happy. But this is, again, I'm not a knee-jerk fan. I don't get excited by one moment. I want to see what the plan. This isn't about one moment. Hit it. Yeah, I agree with this, Chris. I agree with this. Yeah, Newcastle did do it the right way. They came in, they went and got some solid Premier League players, not amazing, solid pros like Target, like Dan Burn, that came in, like Trippier, made them solid, added Bruno Guimaraes to give them that bit of flair. Then they've gone out in the window and got in Isak as well, and Botman. And it's almost...
Build from the back. And what did we do? Longley on loan.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, Greg. So I never said if you sack Conte, you bring in somebody and defend it. I'm not saying I want to sack the manager. What I'm saying is you either, if you get rid of him, if you get rid of the manager, you go and get in somebody that can go and do it.
Yeah.
Or you go in January now and say, do you know what? We're going to fully back this manager and say, do you know what? He needs this, that, and the other. However much it's going to cost us, and just get it done. If you go half-hearted, it's never going to work. That's my opinion on it all.
I agree.
I'm not one of these that sits and go, I want the manager out, but I don't expect us to be 2-0 down at Bournemouth, trying to chase a game to try and get us back into it in the second half.
Terence, I mean, not all Spurs supporters have set their standards so low. The difficulty is we also realise what the board will allow us to set our standards at. I could have a standard of I want to win the league. That could be my standard, but it would be a pointless standard, wouldn't it? Because we don't buy the players for that. My standard, as I've said, is I just want to see some football where you go, yeah, that was good. That's all I'm asking for at the moment. I'm not asking for trophies. But, yeah, sack Savva. I agree with you. Let's get Savva out. Savva out, Perchie in. Look, we've got 10
Welcome to
minutes
Perchie Talks Football, anyway.
It's Perchie Talks Football. We've got 10 minutes here. Let's go and win this. Then go and beat Marseille and get on some sort of a run. But
you're spot on there.
It shouldn't take us to go 2-0 down at Bournemouth to start playing. This is the frustrating thing to me.
No, exactly.
Yeah, the fact we're hanging on here, praying to get a winner against lowly Bournemouth, cannon fodder for relegation, just to halt a run of 3 games in a row where we've failed to win. Right. That's the reality.
Of course it is. The reality is, as well, all these fans about the whole celebrating thing. Look, I've supported Spurs for 40 years. I've never been a shouter and a screamer when goals go in anyway. Right? I'm not that. I've never been one of those that shouts and screams when we concede. That's not my demeanour. So if people want to run around, like I'll tell you the worst thing I hate, and there'll be a few people that I follow on Instagram and YouTube that do this. I cannot stand people filming themselves at games.
Facts.
Celebrating a goal because they're filming before the goal's gone in. I
can't stand it. Don't get me started. I've got an absolute mad opinion on it.
I hate it.
One, I can't stand it whatsoever. The second, I can't understand the point. Because I think you're probably on about the sort of stuff that was sort of going on about the disallowed goal and all the videos that sort of being clipped of people going crazy when we scored that goal against Sporting and stuff. They get clipped up. So why would you publicly put that on social media, knowing full well you're going to get absolutely destroyed by every meme channel on social media, on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, etc., etc. What's that about?
This is it. The funny thing is, why go to the game to video like a penalty? Like,
don't.
Why wouldn't you watch it? And then you, right, Sonny taking a free kick. Oh, he's hit that into the wall. Like, there's one person in particular who I follow on Instagram, and I actually quite like him. But all of his videos from the games, him and his mates doing all this, like we've scored. And it's like, but what does that mean? You film every time we attack?
Don't. It actually rattles me. Like if I see anyone filming at football matches, I get annoyed in general. Let alone like people like just in general. Put your phone away, enjoy the moment. Like how can you enjoy that? I don't know. I have opinions on that very much. So.
Did you see a close effort from Højbjerg? Yeah.
Brian Hill is now on for Sessegnon.
Like we give Brian Hill 6 minutes. It's like it's so.
Kane hasn't scored, but I think he's having quite a good game. He's causing them all sorts of problems.
Kane,
he's the link-up man. Honestly, the one who's having a shit season, and we're not allowed to say it, is Heung-min Son. He looks dreadful in everything he's doing.
Even that, I'm not going to agree with. His roles his roles changed. He's more a midfielder than an attacker now.
Right. Okay, but that means. What? But that means he has to give the ball away every time he gets it, and he can't pass the ball 5 yards. I'm not.
Yeah, but they're all doing that.
Yeah, but I'm holding Son to the standard that lots of fans.
If he gets put in a world class bracket, you have to put him at that level. Like you have
to,
because and it's the same when people say this a lot of the time about our midfield, saying that 1 minute we've got a problem in midfield, the next minute we've got an amazing midfield.
Right.
So which is it? Because you can't 1 minute people are saying Højbjerg's our player of the season at the moment, but then we also get overrun in midfield. It can't be both. Surely it can't.
Yeah, it can. We're just shit, mate.
No, but
he can still be our best player, and we're shit.
No, but my point is though, you can't. In my opinion, you can't. We get overrun in midfield when we go to midfield. But yet our best player in the season's been our midfielder. I don't know. For me, maybe that's just the way I look at it. Quite simple like that. Maybe I don't know.
I'm sticking with what I said at the beginning of the season. Unless we get quality defenders and wing backs in, we're going to be shit.
I think the wing backs is the key one. The wing backs is the key one for us.
But both. It's playing out from the back generally, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you look at anybody in that back five, they're shit.
The thing for me with Son, the same with any footballer, right? It's like when people say, well, Royal's a right back, not a right wing back. For me, these things do not change if you can pass a ball 5 yards, if you can control a ball, if you can tackle. It doesn't change the basics. So Heung-min Son's position changing slightly doesn't, for me, forego how bad he's been. But for some reason, we're not allowed to say Son's been bad. It feels like and the thing is, Kuva, it's the fans that put. Wait 1 sec. It's the fans that put. Sorry, the pug wants to come in. It's the fans that put him in the world class bracket. If you're putting him in that bracket, right, cool, all right, I'm going to judge you to that bracket.
Yeah, agreed. I think he is, but I put him in that bracket. I think he's had an absolutely terrible season. I think
it's not just that he's not scoring, Perchy. I think his all-round game has looked dreadful. Sorry, that's just my opinion, but we're not.
I think it's looked lackluster. I think it's dreadful's quite a hike. It's
Is it?
Yeah, I still think he's better than doing the likes of when Mora comes on. Mora looked a lot worse.
Well, I mean, for example, midweek, I thought Brian Hill did more in his 20-minute cameo than Son did in the whole game. Sorry, for me.
Well, to Son, actually, he was having a few shots and creating a few chances. They were there.
His all-round game for me is not good enough.
But then you could look at Harry Kane against Lisbon. Literally didn't have a shot in the whole match.
No, listen, I understand. I'm not saying Harry Kane's above reproach, but the difference is Harry Kane's got however many goals he's got this season, and again,
there's
games like this,
there's the difference, though, isn't it? I mean, if Sonny had put away a couple of those chances where he's been unlucky with them or something, and he's ended up like he's got 6 or 7 goals, we wouldn't have the conversation really, because you don't expect Son to be
I disagree.
up a football every week.
I disagree, because the difference is even when Harry's not playing great, you see him dropping deep, trying to link up play, being the one that gets on the ball. When Sonny's not playing well, it is noticeable. Like, it is really Now, look, yes, his goal scoring needs to improve. I think he scored in 1 Premier League game out of how many?
Well,
12?
yeah, now what 12 games he played? Yes, he scored 1 in 12. He scored in 1 in 12 games. He's got hat-trick's the only goals he scored.
Okay, look at it the other way. Last season, if you took the goals away from Sonny, what sort of player would you have?
What do you mean?
I'm saying Sonny's all about the goals. If he's not
Of
scoring,
course he is. But that's my point. You can't be world class if you take away one thing and everything else is crap. Sorry,
I think.
Yeah, well, there you go. But I mean, if you recognise what the player is, surely you play to his strengths. We don't do this season.
Well, I think he's had lots of chances that I've seen where he has had created for him, and he's still not finishing his dinner. But
they're just not coming off at the moment. Yeah, that's fair enough. He's not as good as he was last season. That is without question. But I think perhaps it's over the top, some of it, with some of the criticism. Some games he has been woeful, no doubt about it. But I mean,
next question then is, would you cash in on him?
Yes.
So, but what price point would you say would you cash in on him? If someone put down 60 million quid, would you take it?
No.
Would you take 80?
Hang on, can I caveat to my answer to this, Percy?
Sure.
With Spurs, you've always got to have a caveat in your pocket, right?
Sure, go for it.
Right. The caveat for me is, if we had competent scouting, I think for what you sell Heung-min Son, you can get other wide forwards like him that are up and coming that will be brilliant. My worry is...
I know. Yeah, I was going to say, I know what you're going to say.
Right? Like, for example, the guy at Napoli, Kvaratskhelia, or if we're signing players like that for what did Napoli sign him for? Then I go, yeah, for sure, right? But if you're not signing players like that, then there's no point, because we're not going to buy better. But look, he's not getting younger.
So okay, I'll put a caveat in my question then. So if we were to sign a winger that was more than half the value that we sell Son for, would you do the deal? So let's just, for example, if we sold him for 80 million quid, we bought a player for 40 million quid to fill that position, give or take.
For me, it's not about how much the player costs; it's how good is that player.
No. I'm just trying to be plausible by it simple.
With Sonny, you can't even do it that simple. If he leaves, what impact is that going to have on our club brand image?
By the way, I'm not saying I want to sell him. By the way, I was just putting the feelers out. That was all.
Yeah.
The figure's going to be astronomical.
We've scored. Oh,
you ruined it.
I don't know who. It's not happened on my screen. It's not telling me. So apologies if my celebration isn't that good, but I've not seen it.
It hasn't come up yet for me.
It's not come up for me either. Has anyone?
Yes! Bentancur!
Is it from the Sun corner?
I don't know.
It's got to be. He's taking the corner now. It has to be this.
Sonny whipped it in. Bentancur's whacked it with a good goal. Nice move, that. Please, for the love of God, can we start the next game playing how we end games?
Yeah.
Please.
I want to see this. I've got it on now.
And
we do literally have to start throwing the game away before we start playing, don't we?
That's what I said. I'd happily for us to concede in the first minute, just so we can try and win a game of football.
Yeah, maybe.
One thing for sure, guys. It is never dull supporting Tottenham Hotspur.
But it's also fun supporting Brighton because they're 4-1 up at Chelsea against Chelsea.
They're 4-1
Pascal
up. Newcastle are 4-0 up.
And it's all good because Pascal Gross is in my fantasy team, so we move.
Let's have a look today. Yeah, nice. Through the crowd, like that. Shall have that. I mean, first of all, keep the language.
Honestly, seriously,
clean, please.
You're going to have such a childish attitude to this.
It's so silly, isn't it? It's so silly.
Grow up. Seriously, I don't care. Grow up. Really? And what be funny, we're 2-0 down at Bournemouth. People are going to be pissed off. And then what be funny, what did Conte do to change this? Apart from our players basically going 2-0 down and going, do you know what, we have to get ourselves back in this game. I didn't see any tactical change from Conte apart from bringing Lucas Moura on and taking Skip off. It's the only tactical thing I've seen.
So my question is this. Why do we not start games like this? Why? No one can tell me now, Conte doesn't have the players, we can't play. We've done it here. We did it against Sporting Lisbon. Why are we not starting games and he's saying, go at them like we ended the game against Bournemouth? Why are we not doing that?
We wait. This is
drama. Makes for good television.
Drama, yeah. God, when watching Spurs play, we just basically set a mountain to build up.
Here we go. Great point. People complaining about fans not celebrating goals when our own manager didn't celebrate and just walked away down the. James, listen. I feel like people need to get a grip of reality here. We're playing against Bournemouth. We should not have been 2-0 down. Let's not make out. Let's do
another analogy. This is like, say, you're in the army and you go to Afghanistan and it's your job to clear a minefield and you don't, and a kid walks across it and doesn't get blown up. Therefore, everything's all right.
Yeah.
Just because we get away with one, it does not make it good.
Let's be fair. After not beating Man United, not beating Newcastle, not beating Sporting Lisbon, not beating Arsenal, right? I'm not going to start getting mad and sorry. Oh my God, we're amazing against Bournemouth. I'm sorry, I can't. This is not good enough.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. Completely.
It's not good enough.
Yeah, it's, as I said, it's one of those good result, happy days. We won a game of football. We shouldn't have been 2-0 down. I'm not getting excited. Yeah, the comeback's great. The only way this is a good result is if we go to Marseille and batter them. We go there, go 2-0 up in the first half. This is the only way this result is good. If we go to Marseille and they go 1-0 up in 20 minutes, we go same old Tottenham. What's the point?
Well, look, we've won the game. The game is finished. We've won the game.
Has it actually final whistle yet before you say
final whistle's gone? I just don't know where I am as a Spurs fan right now. I feel drained.
Got to say, good second half.
Yes, again, but it can't be this every game.
No, it can't.
It can't be that. We should not be 2-0 down to Bournemouth. So, okay, what fans want to hear? This is what fans want to hear. Great comeback. Never say die attitude.
Oh, we're amazing.
We never know when we're beaten. That's brilliant.
As long as we play shit teams, we're all right.
As I've said all season, who have we beaten, Kuva? We beat all the bad teams.
Yeah, the teams that have given us a bit of a game: Arsenal, Newcastle, Chelsea.
James, can I ask, are you a teenager? Because the things you say, it's almost as though it's so knee-jerk. Like, for me, half an hour of good football at the end against Bournemouth, who have just been promoted, doesn't change my overall opinions on the football and the club. For you, you seem to think listen, fans like you, for me, are the issue. I'm going to just say it. You accept mediocrity, yeah, and celebrate it. We should be beating Bournemouth
comfortably.
That's not a, oh my God, what a win. No, we should be beating Bournemouth the same way this year we've beaten Fulham, Wolves, Leicester, Southampton. We've beaten all the teams down the bottom. That's who we beat. It's a loser's mentality that gets all excited. Let's go and beat Marseille. Let's then beat Liverpool. Then you've got a point. But we won't. I don't think we will beat Liverpool. But
it's a weird one with Liverpool as well. Like, Luke's back. Hey, Luke, how's it going?
Yeah, he's being blocked. I don't understand children. What I want adults in my stream. I want
actual constructive conversation.
Sorry, my camera's gone.
Exactly.
It's just taken.
You want I just
break out the champagne. Just brilliant. Yeah, well, we've gone to the vitality. Let's start celebrating, guys. And we've just about
said it all along. The quad is on.
The quad is on.
The quad is on.
Here you go. Right. Question for Kuva and Perchi. Savva, question for Perchi and Kuva and you. Right. Will you guys give credit for showing character and making the again, this is what I mean.
There's no problem with it. So, the trouble is, it's as Savva says, it's not what we did in the second half, which was good. It's what we didn't do in the first half that's the problem with this team. And that's why we're going to keep losing against the big teams.
And as I said a moment ago, this result is only I'll start getting excited about this result if we go to Marseille on Tuesday night and we go 2-0 up in the first half. Because my point is people say, the comeback's amazing, brilliant, okay, fine, amazing, a great comeback. But it means nothing if we get beaten or don't win against Marseille on Tuesday and we don't bring this same thing in. That's the difference.
Just quickly, listen, none of that, please. None of that. Let's keep the language. We've won a game. It's all good, right? Let's not start using this language towards each other. This is not what it's about, all right? We can respectfully have different opinions here, but let's not go there with each other in terms of the C word and all that kind of stuff, right? Let's grow up a bit. Let's stop being childish. Let's have actual football conversations, right? Look, at the end of the day, a win's a win, right? Cool. We won the game. Great. These are the teams we should be beating. For me, that is not... I'm not going to ever turn around and go, big club mentality. We've brought it back. We're 2-0 down against Bournemouth. If I've got to have a big...
Final whistle goes against Bournemouth, I should not be going...
Thank God that's... right. Noah, sorry, can you just highlight Noah's comment just now? The comeback makes us above Arsenal. We've played one game more than them. Yeah, it's irrelevant.
Noah, a lot of respect for you, Noah. You come on all the streams. Listen, again, I'm not a knee-jerk fan. As I've said, where we are right now doesn't dictate the season to me, right? It's not about being above Arsenal. That's not a trophy, by the way, being above Arsenal when they've got a game in hand. The point, if they got 1 or 2 games in hand?
2.
No, it'll be 2 now, right? Yeah, it's going to be 2 now, yeah.
As a Spurs fan, how many years can I celebrate finishing above Arsenal? It's not a trophy, right? So, listen, great. We got 3 points. Brilliant. Yeah. Much better second half. But now what I want to see is, unlike the Lisbon game, do we now learn from this going into the next game? Because we didn't learn from the Lisbon game. We started exactly the same in this game. Then our second half is exactly the same as the last game. So, listen, I'm not a knee-jerk football fan. I've never been a knee-jerk football fan. Yeah? At the end of the day, nothing has changed for me. All the problems are there. A win against Bournemouth does not change the style of football. It does not change that our owners are terrible. It does not change that Paratici, for me, has been below average in the transfer market. If football fans want to flip-flop with one win or a loss, that's up to them. I won't. All right? I won't.
If by any chance we do something really worthwhile by the end of the season, league positions really improved, and supposing we finish a narrow second by some miracle or something like that, we might look back at this sort of game and think it's got real. There's a real purpose to the game there. It was a really important win. But if we're going to be scrapping for fourth still, not even making the top four, this sort of result doesn't have any meaning then.
Agreed.
It's scraping by against a relegation cannon fodder.
But here you go, Kuva. Look, the times you come back from 2-0 down happens once every 5 years. Take it for what it is. I will take it for what it is.
We did it last season, didn't we?
I will take it for what it is. It was a get out of jail free card, is what it was. This wasn't something that. This is the problem. We have fans that praise what we've just seen. That's the problem, right? Of all the problems at the club, there are many. This is one of them.
Yep.
Fans will see that win against Bournemouth and go, "Oh, see, Conte's got us believing we're never out of a game." All right, but why can't Conte get us believing that we go in 2-0 up at half-time against Bournemouth by playing like that? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, no,
and how did we score all our goals? Were they all corners?
They all came from a set piece, yeah. The first one was a set piece. The second one was, and the third one was, it still was a set piece. It was ricocheted in the box and Bentancur just latched onto it through a body of people.
Are we actually above Arsenal?
No, they're 2 points above us.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We got beat. It's because we got beaten to Newcastle, didn't we? So
let's have a look. All game. Okay,
yeah,
so
they're on 28. We're on 26 points.
Right. So okay. So we're 3 points behind City with a game in, and they've got a game in hand. 2 points behind Arsenal. Look, for me, all of this is irrelevant until after the World Cup, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Spot on.
League table right now. Perchy, stop whining in vain. Do what you can to pressure the board to invest in January. Oh, God. This guy's been listening to Stell way too much. Guy, let me tell you something, Greg. The board are not going to listen to us. I don't understand if you understand. They are an investment company.
Yeah. And also, Greg, just to put it out there, I have been out there and protested with a lot of other Spurs fans. When I used to live in the UK, that was. Trust me, I used to go every single time. So before you start saying that, I am completely against the ownership. And yes, I do. I complain about them all the time.
Mm-hmm. Just quickly, super chat from 164 Spur. Thank you very much. That money does go to charity, so thank you. He said, "Phew, I don't like this way to win games as the stress is too much. Reinforcements badly needed in January." 164 Spur, I agree with you completely. The problem is that last sentence of the reinforcements badly needed. We could apply that to every single year. It's constant.
Yeah. Literally is constant.
And even more poignant, we know we were left short-handed when it comes to reinforcements at the back and the wing-back positions. And yet, 50 million of that well-documented cash injection was left sat in the bank. We clearly had more we could have spent anyway. And then we spent what? 70, 80 million on a couple of wing-backs. One's coming towards the end of his career. One doesn't get in the team. And another one not even at the club. This is the whole point. We do not do what we need to do. We never do. It's always the second choice or no choice at all. That we're just not going to do it in January. It'll be even harder to sign players. We already know that, but people expect us to. What happened last January? Didn't get anybody until the very final day, and then a panic double signing. Thank God they worked out for us, but don't say that wasn't a panic signing. We got them because Paratici has ties with Juve, that's all.
Kuva, I just don't. Why are we angry? I don't think no one's angry.
Everyone's angry.
Who's angry? I'm just relieved it's finished. Listen. Billy, I'm emotionally drained as a Tottenham Hotspur fan.
That's literally it.
Right? Even games like that should be a game. You go 2-0, put the game to bed, have done with it. We should be bringing off our better players, not having to bring them on. So, listen, 3 points, brilliant, great. But please don't expect somersaults for me, for us beating Bournemouth away. Oh,
it's the difference. It's the difference between celebrating the short term and still being angry about the long term direction of this club. And the long term direction of this club, where it keeps me angry until, and I'll keep saying it until Levy goes. I don't see it changing.
Billy, again, listen, I am going to start being ruthless on my channel. Yeah, I will start blocking people if they're just going to be silly. I don't have an agenda against Conte. I don't like his style of football. I don't know how to explain that anymore.
Not difficult, is it?
You know, listen, some fans will hate Pep Guardiola's tiki-taka. It's up to them, right? I don't like Conte's style of football. Right? I don't understand why that's an agenda. I don't. We've got to grow up. So Rocky Balboa, brilliant, said that first half proves Savva. It's the shite players and not Conte's tactics. Well, okay, my query is this. Why then could the players do that in the second half, not the first half? That's all I'm asking. Yeah. Why? Because
it even happened before all the triple substitution, doesn't it? The change in style happened. So where does it come from? I don't think we can say for sure whether it's the manager. I don't think we can say for sure whether it's the players. We can't say for sure whether it's the chairman. I think that the only one we kind of been roughly agreeing on is it's the whole thing put together is bloody awful.
Yeah, of course. Mate, listen, the problem is, Kuva, it's like anything, it's sound bites. As I said, if I'm talking about Conte, they'll take that one thing and go, oh my God, you let the owners get away with it. Well, no, hang on. I do full-on shows about wanting the owners out. But the thing is, the two things aren't mutually exclusive, right? You are allowed to not like a style of play and want the owners out and think Paratici is a fraud. But fans want you to just have one thing that you blame. Look, it was an important win. It was needed. You've got to be beating Bournemouth away. You've got to, especially as you said, Kuva, off the back of 3 games without a win. Now, for me, the key thing for me, I want to take that lesson into the next game. Don't go to Marseille and in the first 45 minutes, we're camped in our half again. We go 1-0 down, then when we come out and play. Because it's not going to work.
Start winning some of the big games. That'll go a long way to convincing people.
Liverpool next week's a good one, really, realistically, because we don't really beat them anyway, but they're not playing amazing. So that was the opportunity. Like that's the one we have to go and win.
I'm expecting us to get spanked, but I'm sure I'll be called negative again for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Spanked against who?
Liverpool.
Liverpool. I'm so used to losing to them, so it's fine.
I tell you my worry about playing a team like Liverpool is I've just seen what Kiefer Moore did to us. Right?
What Darwin Núñez is going to do.
I'm seeing what Kiefer Moore does. What do better players do to us? And we haven't beaten a good team yet this year. So, Listen, as I said, beat Marseille, beat Liverpool, and then I can shut up and people can go, there you go, you're beating some good teams. Cool. All right. Can't say anything. But when I've got fads chucking it in my face because we're beating Fulham, Wolves, Southampton, Leicester, Bournemouth, Forest, right? It's
mighty win at Forest.
Yeah. Billy has said, how was today? Boring. 70%. I thought the first half was boring.
So can I just jump in? People that chuck on this possession stats is nonsense. Couldn't care less. Some of the best football is counter-attacking football where you don't have possession. Some of those brilliant football is when you pick up the ball in your body and you counter-attack really quickly. Possession doesn't mean that we've been brilliant or anything. It means nothing. It just means that we've held on the ball. I remember when we had Pochettino in charge, and we used to have all the possession, but we're passing around our back four half the time, not doing anything. Possession doesn't mean anything. Like, I hate possession stats because it's such a delusion.
Look at this. This is a spot on. Champions of Italy has said people expect you to be bipolar depending on the result rather than logically dissecting a game.
Exactly.
No one on the panel has said anything. This is it, right? This is it.
So,
I'll put this out there right now. If there are fans that watch that and are like, oh my God, Spurs are third. This is amazing. I'm happy for you. As a fan who's been here, seen it, done it for many years, I'm looking at the bigger picture of the club and I'm worried as to what I'm watching.
yep.
Yeah. A comeback against a very poor Bournemouth team that have won 1 in 6 doesn't fill me with joy. Do I want the win? Do I take the win? Of course. We grab 3 points where we can. But you can't tell fans they're miserable because they state the obvious. It's, look, see, again, this is, this is the guy that every game says we're going to win 4-1, 3-1, 5-0. Every game he says we're going to win it. Give credit for the comeback.
I think every single one of us has said that, but we also have agreed that being 2-0 down against a very average Bournemouth side is also not a good thing. Like, you can sit there, yeah, it's a great comeback, but as I've said to you, it's only important because every time we've come back in games of football, we all go, oh, it's going to start again. This is it now. We're going to go into games progressively from minute 1. We only get started when we go 1-0 down. So, and this time we got started when we went 2-0 down. So, yeah, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, look, Arsenal do have 2 games in hand, but as I said, at the moment, I'm not so, I say this every season, I'm not so bothered about league position at this stage in the season. I'm not bothered about it because Kuva, we said it at the beginning of the stream. We were top at Christmas once or just before Christmas with Jose, right? And you've seen how quickly things can unfold.
Yeah.
The problem is we've had 3 very worrying games in a row and then a comeback against Bournemouth and all of a sudden you've got fans going, oh my God, everything's okay. No, bigger picture. We've just beaten a team that are favourites to be relegated after going 2-0 down to them, right? Bigger picture. Yes, good win. Look, again, look, these... I don't think I've ever acted like we're going to get relegated. I might start turning my chat function off because it's just full of lots of.
But I think the thing is I think this is what people don't understand. It's what we're trying to explain, I used the Champions League season when we got to the final as a great ballpark when we talk about it because I look at it and go, that season. If we all go, oh, it's an amazing season. We got to the Champions League final. Yes, we didn't win it. We got to the final. Dissect that league season was one of the worst league seasons we had. We didn't win away. I think we won like 2 or 3 games away from home all season. And it was one of those seasons where, and I always use the term paper over the cracks. This result is a literal paper over the cracks. Great result. But we got battered in the first half. Like, we were terrible. And it was the same against Sporting, and it's been like that forever, for a while.
This is the guy I love the most, Kuva. This is what I love. First and foremost, listen.
I've got to respond to this one as well.
Right, Kuva, go quick.
I'll start off with the bottom bit. I've been a supporter for over 40 years. Fair play, mate. So have I. That is why I do not tolerate this bullshit we've been seeing.
Exactly.
We are way better than this. Consistent winners of trophies. Consistently play good football. This is utter bullshit. Why you're accepting it, I don't know.
Yeah.
We scraped through against relegation fodder. Whoopee. We went 2-0 down against them too. This is managing to pull back a disaster to not being a disaster. It's not something that gets me excited.
Mm-hmm. Can I just say, Billy Horrocks, my only problem with Conte's style of play, but with Jose, you never criticised his style, which was worse. Right, well, let's break this down. First and foremost, I don't think his style was worse. I don't think what we're watching now is any better than what we saw under Jose Mourinho, right? I actually think Jose Mourinho had the forward players playing much better, right? Second of all, Jose Mourinho didn't have Bentancur, Kulusevski, Romero, Perisic, Longley, right? He didn't have these players. So it's a different squad. I said at the time, is Jose's style my favourite? No, I don't like the style. I said the same thing then. Back him, or what is he doing here? I don't understand how people can't hear this. This isn't a Jose versus Conte argument. The point is, both of them don't play great football that's pleasing on the eye. That's fine if you back them. Like Perchie said, it can't be 50-50. It can't be, here's 50% of the plan, Conte. The other 50%, which is the players, if you don't give him, don't worry about the first 50%. That's the point. It's not about Jose versus Conte, and I don't like any of that style of football. Kuva, you know that. How long you know that. I don't like that style of football. But
yeah, bollocks to it.
Sorry,
I don't care. I'm always going to stand my ground on this as well. I'm not going to trade off playing good football in the pursuit of trying to grind out results to hopefully get a trophy. Do both. Play good football. The trophy's playing good football. If you can't play good football and the result doesn't go your way, you've literally got nothing to look at.
This is the big, James, when you're saying just enjoy the ride, is the ride enjoyable? There's the question.
Yeah.
Has what we've been watching been enjoyable? Is that an enjoyable ride, watching games like that? What we've just seen, let's put it in perspective. What we've just seen there is a team embarrass us in the first 45 minutes, right? A team that could well get relegated. And what we've then seen is the team get a kick up the arse, and then they've had to go and rescue a win. Let's not make out like we were amazing, like we've gone and dominated a game against a relegation team. We have had to claw back.
Here's a good comparison. Remember a certain Tim Sherwood in charge with us?
Yeah.
We were playing Southampton when we went 2-0 down and we scraped back to a 3-2 win. Ericsson scored in the final minute, I think.
Yeah.
Was that great? Were we a great team back there because we could do that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Kuva, I have so much respect for your views. Expect the same from you. My point is, how can we not celebrate an exciting comeback? I mean, would we call it exciting?
It's a relief, mate.
It's a relief.
I know
relief
you
is the right word.
Yeah, Faz, I don't mean to be insulting to you either, but it frustrates me sometimes.
You weren't insulting. You weren't insulting to him. The problem
can be taken that way when it feels like you get dug out sometimes when you disagree online. I know that. If he was here now, we'd probably have a good conversation. But
the thing is about it, Kuva, it's all well and good, right? It's all well and good. We're saying that, and people get offended and blah 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 blah. But the difference is this: some fans just want to be happy. Just on that Saturday, we won a game. That's fine. Certain fans, some of us, we're too long in the tooth for that. So if you've got a fan like Faz saying he supported Spurs for 40 years, cool, big up to you, well done. So have the rest of us, right? So because of that, and to add on from Kuva's point, the point is this: because I've seen it for 40 years, because I've been watching this is not good. Yeah, this is not good because I've been watching it for 40 years. So you can't tell another fan of 40 years that they have to have emotions that aren't there. The emotion of enjoying the ride. The ride of what? Getting embarrassed by Newcastle and Man United, awful against Sporting Lisbon. Yeah? Played off the park by Chelsea, embarrassed at Arsenal. That's enjoying the ride. Or is enjoying the ride comeback wins against teams that should get relegated?
I think to sum it up for me, today's result and that second half performance is a way to try and gloss over what's happened in the previous games.
Yeah.
You can't ignore what's happened. Yeah, it's nice to actually win the game. Of course it is. I'll never like seeing my team lose. But the first half performance and the previous games put together, especially that Man United result, result still is painful.
Yeah,
that is going to stick with me for a long time.
Kuva, it's all forgotten. It's all forgotten now because we just came back against Bournemouth.
That's what I mean.
That's what we're dealing with.
Yeah, well, it's enough for some. It's enough for some people going day to day. It's not. I just don't understand that.
I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. Right. First of all, let's let two comments I want to bring up. First of all, right. Where is it? Right. First of all, sorry, I just need to find it. Right. Here it is. Savva, you do realise that Conte has had just one summer transfer. He needs 2 or 3 more transfers to get his complete team. Right. Okay. I just listen, Sire. Yes, I understand Conte's had one summer window, and look how shit the window was. My point is this. I said this to Kuva with a stream a couple of days ago. If in this transfer window we'd gone and got 3 or 4 really good players that play Conte style, that i.e. centre backs, wing backs, attacking midfielders that can control a game, and you could see the pieces were being put in place to build a team, then I go, yeah, give him another 3 windows of that, and we're going places. But no, we just had a crap window. We haven't signed anyone that has drastically improved us or walked straight into the 11 and made us brilliant, right? But you now want me to have faith that in the next 3 windows that's going to happen. You want me to have faith when the manager that you are backing hasn't signed a contract.
Yeah, thank you. And that's what I was going to say. That's
so
the manager.
So I'm negative. Perchy, I'm negative. I need to get behind the team. The team need me. The manager has not even signed a contract.
And that's exactly what I've been saying to everyone on these when they're said about, he needs all this. I said, yes, unless he signs a contract. And just to sort of forward on to that the last one you just had on there, funny how Eddie Howe can do it with one transfer window in the summer and go and beat Newcastle, beat Villa 4-0 under a new manager bounce, by the way. So what's the difference?
Feel free. Go and listen to other channels. Listen, if you want to hear how everything is sunshine and roses after scraping a win against Bournemouth, Last Word on Spurs have got their channel, I'm sure, going. Cool. Go for it, mate. The problem is I want people in this channel that want to have a constructive football conversation. Yeah.
If we'd gone to Bournemouth, spanked them 5-0,
right,
all styles all round, would be saying thank God for that.
Right.
But we didn't.
But it's irrelevant results that lead to nothing. It's irrelevant results that lead to nothing.
We have to remind ourselves this is a process. Okay, so say what? I'll tell you what. Say what? Let me put the link in. Come on and tell me, what have we done to start the process under Conte? Because what I've seen is a really shit summer transfer window where I can't see the building blocks. And fans like you can... Here you go. To all the fans in the comments saying these types of things, right? To all the fans saying that, tell me then, what building blocks have we begun? Because, first of all, Romero wasn't Conte, right? Longley is on loan, right? So the first 2, nonsense. Basuma has been dreadful, and he hardly wants to start him, right? Richarlison is, by all intents and purposes, a backup striker. So what we're doing is we're actually talking about one window, which was Bentancur and Kulu. So again, I asked the question, Sire. That was a really poor window. Now tell me, what's the process? What have we begun? Why is the manager you lot are all backing, telling me that I have to back him wholeheartedly? Why is he not signed a new contract?
Yes. If everyone says all this thing about back Conte and trust him, Conte at the moment doesn't trust us at the moment because he doesn't want to stay with us. Until Conte goes and says he'll extend his contract for 2 years, 3 years, whatever, then I'll go, do you know what? Maybe then we've got some basis on this. But everyone's sitting there going about, back Conte, the manager, and I say sometimes, yes, we need to support the manager. But the manager has to also support the team. He's not bigger than the football club. He's at the same level. We need to make sure of that.
Right. Faz, first and foremost, right, again, what you've done now is because you have no answer to my questions, you've deflected to other football clubs that I do not support. Right? I am not a Chelsea fan. If I was a Chelsea fan right now, I would be ripping into Chelsea for losing 4-1. I am not a Chelsea fan. I also don't support Liverpool, right? Again, what you are doing, you are looking at teams in a short period of time like this. You are looking at successful teams that win things more often than lose, right?
I was just going to fill something in there quickly, just before you say that. You say Chelsea lost today to Brighton and Liverpool lost to Forest last week, they say. Out of Spurs, Chelsea and Liverpool, who do you think are more likely going to win something? Because I can put you damn last, will be last of that three. Because Chelsea are more likely to win something this season and Liverpool are more likely to win something this season. Let's be frank and honest. Who cares? It's one game. And that's what I say about this one. It's one game. Who cares?
This is my point, right? My point with this is Spurs fans can only, but apparently we can only look at a bubble that's this big, right? So when I see fans say things like, "Oh my God, Liverpool, dead club, they're in the mud," right? Liverpool for the last 5-6 years have been winning leagues, Champions League, FA Cups, League Cups, and Super Cups, right?
They played every possible game they could last season.
Hang on, right? But they have one tough period in that time, right? Where they're not in the top 4 at the moment. And our fans are, oh my God, they're dead. Look at them. Bigger picture. Liverpool will go out and will sign top players. Liverpool will look at the likes of Jude Bellingham. Spurs are looking at the likes of Jed Spence. So again, it's that bigger picture thinking from fans that they can't see past a small snapshot of time.
Yeah.
Faz said, you always see positives in other big clubs, but nothing when they fail. Faz, I've just explained it. These clubs will have dips. Of course they will, but they win things all the time. You're celebrating.
If they don't, they'll get Chelsea. If it doesn't work with Graham Potter, he will be gone before the end of the season if it doesn't go well, because that's how Chelsea operate.
Right.
Chelsea, if they'll look at Potter, and if it doesn't go well, he will be gone quicker than you think. And that's the other deal. And they'll get someone in and it will work.
But when we're saying, again, when we're saying when they fail, right? When we say they fail, you know, Liverpool last season nearly did a quad, right? They won 2 domestic cups, got to a Champions League final, and they were nearly winning the league until the last 10 minutes of the season.
Yeah. I was going to say, they were a point off the league, and they were one game off winning the Champions League, and they had won all 4 trophies.
Chelsea made 2 cup finals last year and won the Champions League the year before, right? Stop this now, this moment in time after 12 games. They're crap. We're brilliant. Listen, they've both just got new manager. Liverpool are clearly going through a rebuild or whatever they're trying to do. Yeah. Chelsea have just got a new manager who's just lost his first game in 7, right? And yet you guys belittle them but think we're amazing, right? So it's a process. He's not a magician. Okay, right. Say what? You have not answered a single one of my questions. Tell me then, what's the process? What has he started to build from the summer? Kuva, can you tell me? What's he done?
Can't even tell you what the preferred 11 is.
Right. Faz, mate, sorry, go away then. If it makes you sad, you've just said you've been supporting Spurs for over 40 years, which means you're a grown...
and you think we're depressing.
You're a grown man that feels sad because somebody's pointed out that they're not going to be massively excited because we beat Bournemouth. I mean, come on. You're a grown man.
Each to their own. Each to their own.
Mate, of course, but don't watch and then say, oh, I'm sad. Because that is why the last word on Spurs is of this world. That's why they're massive channels. Because they just got lots of people that will be in there right now going, oh, my God, that was brilliant. Conte was brilliant. This was brilliant. No, for me, I don't lose sight of it, Kuva. I will never lose sight of the bigger picture.
Yeah, of course.
Marcus said, Savva, I'd like to win 1 domestic cup, let alone 2. Right, exactly. So people like Faz belittling Liverpool who have just won 2 trophies 4 or 5 months ago. That's where we're at with our fan base. That's where we cannot see a bigger picture.
It's mad, isn't it?
And Chelsea win the Champions League quite recently as well, don't they?
Liverpool last season equated to exactly the same amount of trophies that I have witnessed Spurs win in my lifetime. Like, just to put it into perspective, so we can all belittle Liverpool and laugh at them. That is the context of what we are. In my lifetime, I've seen us win 2 trophies. And we are belittling Liverpool because they won 2 trophies last season. Come on. Like, that's the mindset we have to completely squash from our club.
The thing is as well, I think what we've got to remember is this, right? I said this to Brian Daigle yesterday on a show I did with him.
Yeah.
If you look at the last 7 to 10 years, during that time, there's been times where we finished above Man City, above Chelsea, above Man United, above Arsenal, above Liverpool. We finished above all of them. In that 10 years, all of them have won multiple trophies. All of them. And this is the thing. We get very giddy about now. For me, I want us to stop celebrating finishing above Arsenal. That shouldn't be a celebration. That's not an achievement.
I want us to stop celebrating us getting to the Champions League final. It does my head in hearing about it. We didn't win it. Who cares? I get annoyed about talking about Ajax and Amsterdam. Who cares? We didn't win the final. We sing about turning that game around until we start winning these trophies. The level of the standard of us is so low that we mock other football clubs that are doing badly. Like I say, Liverpool, use that as an example. And I said this before when people were laughing last week that Nottingham Forest been. I said, stop laughing because they're going to go to us and batter us next week. It's like people sit there going, let's all laugh at Liverpool because they lost to Nottingham Forest. What? They're going to come to us and what? You think we're going to beat them? Come on.
I've got a lot of Gooner mates. I've got a couple of Chelsea mates and West Ham mates. West Ham mates never join in when we're bantering about trophies for the same reason I can't when they're bantering.
Exactly.
First, I started sporting in '76 when I was 5 years old. Didn't know much about what was really going on at the time, but I enjoyed it because it was something to do with my dad, and it was fun cheering and booing. Anyway, by the time I got to 10 years old, I then started watching us win 3. In the next 10 years, I watched us win 3 FA Cups, reach another FA Cup final, win the UEFA Cup, be in multiple cup semi-finals over that period, challenge for the league in a couple of seasons. Brilliant. That's what I'm used to. Next 30 years, 22 of which have been under ENIC, we won 2 bloody League Cups. And people are telling me that I'm being too negative. I'm used to better, and I just don't accept this shit.
Exactly. Say what said, talking about Eddie Howe, it's too soon to judge him. Let's look at where Newcastle end up. Again, the big C word, context. Eddie Howe took over a team that were bottom of the table after 13 games and hadn't won a game of football.
Yeah.
In that 12 months that he's been there, look what he's done. It's been phenomenal, right? So, look, do I think Newcastle should be top 40 in the season? Probably not when you look at their squad, but he's doing a very good job.
Eddie Howe will get them top 6, though, is my opinion.
I think they will get top 4.
Newcastle into Europe next season. This season, sorry. He'll get them into Europe this season. That's my opinion. I don't think he'll finish. I think they'll maybe just miss out. They might get Europa League, maybe Conference League, but it'll be one of those two, definitely.
I agree.
They'll pick up a couple of players in January.
Yep.
Stay on it, and I think they'll finish top 4.
You're going top
Billy Horrocks said you all want to win sacked. I don't think you've heard.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
I don't think you've heard me, Perchy, or Kuva ever say sack him, right? No one said that unless you can find a soundbite. Saya has said, Savva, do you know how many players?
He'll go and find the soundbite and completely take it out of context. Like I said, you either sack him or you completely back him in January. That's what's going to happen. That will get. Oh, Perchy wants Conte sack. No, I don't. But yeah. Context is key.
Savva, do you know how many players Klopp needs to get when he first arrived at Liverpool? Again, Saya, I can't keep saying this. Klopp was backed. Conte's not going to be. There's a huge. Oh my God, I can't do it. Paul Pablo said, Savva, I heard you ranting today. I see Session score a class goal. Benton Court, great signing. Richarlison coming back and Kulu. But it's looking up now. This is what I mean. Kuva, let's take this snapshot in time. Embarrassed by Man United, embarrassed by Newcastle, all 4 against Sporting Lisbon for half a game, all 4 against Bournemouth for half a game. But because we've scraped a win, it's looking up now. This is what we're dealing with. This is how happy our fan base is beating just crap teams.
We said this about Leicester, though. When we beat Leicester, we were poor against Leicester, but we kind of all came out of that and went, how have we won 6-3 here? Because we've been terrible today. And we all thought that was going to be the shining light. Oh, Son's now going to start scoring a load of goals. He's now back, blah, blah, blah. We've all kind of been there, and we're not naive to think that. Like, us coming back, like, as I said, if we go into the Marseille game on Tuesday and we go 2-0 up in 20 minutes and we start battering them, I'll go, do you know what? Maybe I was wrong, or maybe I should have praised the new. But unless we do that on Tuesday and then we go beat Liverpool at our place on Sunday, then I'll get excited. But beating Bournemouth away isn't. We should be winning those games anyway.
Thank you very much for the super chat. Aperv has said Benton Court and Kulusevski signings for 70 million is up there with the finest winter transfer business.
I'm good with that.
It is, but
I don't think it was 70 million, was it?
Because they weren't our first choice options.
Whatever it is, they turned out well for us. It's good business.
No, agreed. But we wanted Adama Traore so badly, and we wanted who was that? I can't remember who the other fellow was. The lad from Fiorentina, Amrabat. I remember him. He was talked about in that window, weren't he? But then we ended up getting Bentancur and Kulusevski on deadline day.
This person is just off on a different planet.
Oh.
Listen, I tell you what, we will revisit this, Sire, in the next 2 windows when we sign all those world-class players that you think Conte is going to get in order to compete.
Can I just say this, Sire? Okay, respectfully, we're not happy yet, but we don't understand the reasonable time. If Conte signs a contract, then I'll be happy for him to build it. Why would? And listen, I am the biggest Enoch Outer in there. Probably not the biggest, but I don't want the manager. I don't want the ownership at all. However, I do look at it and go, why would the ownership give him 100 million quid, and we'll throw that ballpark figure out there, in January if he's not committed to the football club? It goes both ways.
What? Yeah. Why is it on us, Kuva? Why is it you guys are this, you guys are that, you guys? The manager hasn't even signed a contract. Yeah. Every time.
Also, if it's purely down to the players, look at Dyer and Davis. They were there under prime Posh years. He dropped both of them. We'd have Danny Rose playing. Dyer got moved to midfield, then dropped from that. He just wasn't good enough. They're still here. All these managers aren't choosing that.
Who's offering these lads contracts, by the way? Because
exactly.
Everyone's going on about how is Davis and all this lot getting him? Conte's the one that has to be offering him the contract.
Right.
Because I'd be shocked if he isn't, or he's got some sort of level in it. So
if he isn't, that's more worrying. If he isn't, that clearly tells you he's not going to be here anyway. He doesn't care. This is the thing for me, right? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll make this promise right now. You can clip this. Anyone can clip this. I give you permission, as long as it's the full sentence and not a soundbite. If Antonio Conte in the next month signs a new contract and says, I am here for the next 3 or 4 years, I believe in what we are building, that's why I've signed a new 3 or 4 year contract, I will turn around and go, cool, you know what? I will turn around and say, right, let's see what the next 3 to 4 windows have in store.
It's on the ownership then, isn't it?
At the moment, we've got a manager who is only here for one more window as it stands, right? Yeah. As it stands, he's here for one more January window. So all these people telling me it's a process, he wants 3 or 4 transfer windows, cool. All right. Then in this January transfer window, I want to see 2 top-class players come in. And Kuva, what I mean by that, I'm not talking about 2 players that come in and they're in and out of the team. 2 players that come in, bang, there's your right wing back. Bang, there's your centre back, right? Then in the summer.
Improve the first 11.
Right. Then in the summer,
100%.
I want to see 3 more of those. Bish, bash, bosh. Then next year we go, that I can come on here and go, you know what? Absolutely, I was wrong. They've backed him. He signed a contract. I take it back, Antonio. You're brilliant. At the moment, though, they haven't backed him. He hasn't signed a contract. And as it stands, he is leaving at the end of this season.
And the first 11 isn't improved, is it?
Right. So all these people, it's hard. I always say this to my team at work. Yeah. Don't use that. Use that. When it's not personal, don't use that. Yeah. Right. I'm using this. And all I'm seeing is lots of people going, he's going to be backed. Okay. But there's no evidence of that. Yeah. It's a process. There's no evidence of that. Because so far the process has been a sub-goalkeeper, a 33-year-old Perisic that doesn't look great, a centre-half that's going back to Barcelona, a right wing-back who can't get a game for love nor money, right? A central
even in games he's
midfielder
crying out to play.
Right. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yes, I'm happy we've won. But for me, guys, Tottenham Hotspur isn't about one win at the weekend. I'm not a child. I don't go to a playground on a Monday morning and go, yeah, Spurs won. I'm an adult that's looking at this now going, what's the plan?
So
that's it for me.
Sorry, Savva, I'm actually going to have to go off in a minute because I've got another stream to go on to at 6.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
I'm going to have some food, mate.
I'm going to end this in 4 minutes anyway.
Got to say, big up to Perchy coming on. Greg Spurs in the chat. I have a lot of things I agree with him on, a lot of things I totally disagree with him on. We have arguments about it, but top bloke, keep posting, mate.
Do you know what? He's respectful.
Yeah, he's
to be fair, Greg, he comes into the YouTube comments, he comes into the chats, and he's always respectful. It's the people that start putting the silly things in, like you're not a real fan, and it's
exactly.
Anyway, guys, look, I am gonna wrap it up. It's this. This is the type of comment. This is what the internet attracts.
What is that?
This is what the internet attracts, unfortunately. On that note, right? Look, guys, we're going to end the show. 3 points is 3 points. We move forward. All I ask, guys, moving forward, all I want to see is that the next game, we kind of take those lessons and we go out and start like a house on fire rather than having to rescue in the second half. That's all I want to see. Baby steps, improvements.
Second half is quite enjoyable.
Yeah, it was nice to put a team under pressure. Perchy, thanks for coming on, mate. Invaluable addition. Kuva, thanks as always. Thank you to all the sensible people in the chat. It's been really, really good. Hope you've enjoyed it. And Kuva and I will be back tomorrow night, our brand new show with Sean from the Spurs Talk Show and with David from Irish Hotspur. It's called The Spurs Review. We'll be looking back at all of the weekend's action. We'll be looking back at Spurs' last week, looking forward to the new games. And I'm sure there's going to be some ENIC, Levy and Conte debates. So we'll see you there tomorrow, 7 p.m.
Virtual punch-up.
Absolutely. All right. Take care, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.
Cheers.